Record. All right, so we're recording. Let's flick on the thingamajig. Just remember, when I'm doing this, I'm not going to be able to see chats. Okay, so I'm going to be using audio cues. I'm going to be hoping that you turn your mic off at certain points that I make reference to. All right, so just keep in mind that it's a group of lots of people. Don't take the piss when we've got a good thing going. Just keep in mind there are lots of other people here, but that means don't be afraid of asking your questions. We're a tight little community here.
I was just going to say, if anyone wants to just ask a question as and where, then I will keep a note of them. And then when the opportunity arises to answer them, I'll make reference to it. That might be the best way of doing it.
Yeah. And also when at the certain point as well, I'll just say, okay, guys, let it rip, rip it apart for the next 5 minutes and we'll crack on. All in all, I'll take it from here now, guys. Right. Which is the bloody PowerPoint button? Okie pokey. The thing. Oh, actually, it appears I can, in fact, still see my notes as well as that. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay, that's gone. All right, can't see anything now. Okie dokie. All right, guys. Call number 1. Foundational overview of key affiliate marketing techniques, foundation strategies. Is going to be the core foundation framework of what we're going to be breaking down for the key items that is affiliate marketing. And within affiliate marketing, we of course have CPA. But then immediately I realized, wait a minute, Jordan, what does CPA even mean? Oh, it's very simple. But then it also gave me another brain fart. What if you don't know what CPA means? What if you don't even know what the word affiliate means? What if you struggle to even grasp the concept of what an email is? Because I guarantee to you here and now that most people don't actually know and have the correct definition of the majority of these fundamental terminologies, that is marketing. So we're going to take it from the beginning. And we're going to be here for as long as it takes. I did recommend we bring lots of alcohol, coffee, and, nappies, because we're going to be here for as long as it takes, ladies and gentlemen. The estimated 1 to 2 hours is a typo. It's going to be probably closer. It's either going to be 3.5 hours long or longer. That's right. So let's do what we can. And also, like they said, the disclaimer right there, be aware of background sounds. Don't be that guy. The only person people should be able to hear should be me until we ask particular questions and so on and so forth. Okie pokey, guys. Okay, first things first, quick core guidelines. I'm saying this for the sake of not having to repeat myself an hour from now. You're all here. It is what it is. No annoying background noises. Questions are totally fine. Ask them when I suggest that there's a thing for you to ask and talk about. Everyone is expected to engage. Like I said, the main advantages of what this is an interactive experience. It's going to be a tutorial. It's going to be a walkthrough, a point of view, learning experience as best as I possibly can. That's what you guys jumped on board with. That's what you're doing. So to keep that in mind. And like I said, we're going to be here for however long it bloody takes. Now, this is one of the biggest points about this CPA email thing, and in fact, educating on monetary generating activities in general is going to be a clear line here, and that is deduced by the big USA of the FTC variety. And it's very, very important that I go over this, not only for my own protection, but to at least make you guys aware of what there is out there. So please, for the love of God, pay attention. This is not just a generic earnings disclaimer type thing. This is serious. When it comes to email, you do not want to be in breach of anything, way, shape, or form what I'm about to break down for you guys. Okay, for the love of God, pay attention. And an internal disclaimer of that, I'm not a legal professional. Okay, in no way, shape, or form. This is just going to be common sense broken down. If the rule exists, it's best to follow it. And if you're not sure, don't rely and fall back on attempting to think that, oh, I didn't know, so it should be fine. Ignorance will not protect you in the eyes of the law. Okay, so pay attention. So I'm going to have to read this for the sake of total clarity. You acknowledge by not leaving, by viewing this recording, you are going to agree for everything henceforth. The content that is produced here and now is for the purposes of education and entertainment only. And you agree that the use of anything said or explored henceforth is used, applied, or created at your own discretion and own personal loss or legal responsibility, with no way, shape, or form holding myself, Jordan Carter, my business's representatives or colleagues accountable in any way, and should be absolved by all of your actions taken by yourself, your representative, of anyone you share or discuss this content with. Okay? True and true. Got to be said. It's what it is. I said it as slowly as I could, as accurately as I could as possible. So it is what it is right there, guys. All right, now, so the bloody stuff. As you all know from the Facebook group, I have tried to keep you updated as quickly and accurately and, as forthcoming as I possibly can. The medium of which I'm going to be trying to give you this transformation, this goal of a pretty successful CPA-based project, a fundamental understanding of what email is, CPA, affiliate, and the likes, all via these group calls, these interactive type things, of the form of lectures and Q&As over the coming days. As you all know, the dates and the times. I've been quite let's say loud on this inside the Facebook group. So here's what it is. And as you may have noticed, I kind of modified this slightly from the original 7 calls to the now 5, to be kind of more concise and to encourage people to connect some of these quite difficult to grasp concepts and key data points together in the singular call, but by breaking it up over a longer period of time, over much more calls than 5, I was worried that people's comprehension of the previous items would lax, and we would have a comprehension issue with people. We wouldn't be actually absorbing and then being able to digest and then use said information talking about, thus making this whole bootcamp mastermind thing totally irrelevant and useless. So as we know, first call as we is right now, Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, foundations of whatever, you see it all there. It's whatever it is. Last and final bunch of house rules before we get to it all. I want you to leave all of your biases at the door. A lot of you, there's a guy in this group right now. I do remember who you are. I'm not going to name names, but when it comes to email, he is one of the top 5 individuals that I know when it comes to email. I think he was one of the first employees at either AOL or Yahoo when it comes to email. So this guy knows what he's talking about. So that's the ceiling of where the knowledge is, all the way down to the person that knows absolutely nothing about any of this kind of stuff. And they've been able to connect with me from an individual perspective, my character, my personality, being able to kind of latch on to it all. Either or, wherever you are along that spectrum, I want you to leave any internal biases there. Forget them. You're going to be doing yourself a disservice if you make any assumptions or opinions that are not backed by the data, facts, and statistics that I am going to be calling upon moving through this. This isn't just going to be, oh, I did the test, oh, I did this, I spoke to the guy. I'm going to be giving you everything through and through, and then you'll be able to not only see where the results of certain hypothetical or hypothesis or data inquiries or tests, you will be able to see my methodology, you'll be able to see my points of data, and you'll be able to articulate and see where the thinking process has gone through using that methodology to come at the determined hypothesis. That's what I want you to be able to realize here. So please don't be that guy, oh, I know this, oh, I know what an email is, oh, I know, please don't. All right. You're all here for this one singular thing. And that's a long form conversation on CPA and email marketing and email in general. All right. No one is doing what I'm about to share with you. No one. that I'm aware of right now. Like back in the, when I say that, it's like there's a lot of stuff here that I'm going to be referencing and talking about and showing you. I'm not aware of anybody doing this as it is right now, or at least to this level. But, you know, you can always guarantee there's people well above all of that. But I've never seen anybody reveal and share this kind of stuff, which goes into my next point. Even less have to, you know, or unable to be able to even teach this because I'm just not aware of it being out there. Seriously, you will come to your own conclusion after not necessarily this call, but all of the calls in general. You will see for yourself just the depths of what we go into all of this. Okay, and I'm going to pride myself on that clear distinction between my resources and what I'm about and what I give and deliver, and what everybody else is exposed to and seen and heard of in this information marketing, like publishing, education type bullshit guru-esque space. Okay, you will be able to very quickly and accurately see the people that actually are doing it and can articulate and talk and hold a point and defend those points with the data and evidence, and all those that just take screenshots and all that other crap. You're going to see it here and now. And also, I'm going to be periodically stopping and sipping on this now cold coffee throughout all of this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so let's actually get into the content now, the bloody stuff. We all know who this is, right? Anybody know who this is? Anybody want to take a wild guess of who this individual is? Of course you all know this, or this individual. This is the individual that starts to scream, sprout, and scream and make certain biases and certain predispositions and certain tactic strategies and ideas before they've even developed or gathered any primary or secondary research or tried and tested it for themselves. They are the kinds of people that sit on Facebook groups, sit in these group programs. They make these group programs and they put their line in the sand and they say this doesn't work or this will work. Well, yeah, I'm sure you're all aware of all of that type of stuff. You've also probably seen, if you have any experience in the affiliate game or with networks or QED, speaking to these individuals or being in earshot of these individuals, that networks don't allow email. They just don't, Jordan. You don't know what you're talking about. It isn't going to work. Like you've got to use solo ads. You've got to use Facebook ads. You've got to get an Instagrammer. You've got to get an influencer. If you don't have those things, you don't have a ClickFunnels account, it just won't work, you idiot. Just use MailChimp. Why are you spending all this extra money? Oh, and this is, you know, of course, even if you could find something that works with email, it's just totally illegal because, you know, canned spam was made and I don't know, but canned spam's a thing. And that GDPR thing over in England, it's in, you know, the European Union, they made all this other stuff. And, you know, Benedict Cumberbatch in that new movie, Cambridge Analytica, it just doesn't work anymore. Well, right here and now, ladies and gentlemen, this is legal. For the sake of me talking about this, there's no way in hell I'm going to be talking about something and opening myself up to be liable to these ridiculously, cripplingly potential fines that can come through with this. In fact, by talking about this and pushing these, well, I'm not pushing all of them, but indirectly I'm pushing it because I'm talking about it from an authoritative stance. I'm on the stage talking about this stuff, so you could very easily in the court of law say that I am advocating and pushing these strategies. I am equally liable by pushing these strategies on all of you individuals out there, disclaimer or not. And there's no way, hell, shape or form I would risk my brand, my name, my resources, my accumulated wealth in any way, shape or form if I was not 100% crystal clear and ironclad on the legalities of every single thing I'm about to do, share, and teach. Ladies and gentlemen, right here and now, put a line through it, and I will give you the evidence. I will give you the definitions. I will reference the FTC articles. I will show you the updated case logs. I will show you everything that you need to know, see, and feel to know everything we're about to do is going to be legal to the eyes of the FTC and the eyes of the United States legal legislation and to the local state law and county law to where you particularly are. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So with that kind of like scary ball busting, my goddamn internet kind of things popping up again. But anyway, with that being said, let's get to some of the cool stuff. Screenshots. It's just an Excel sheet, right? It's just a couple of tables, some bits of numbers. Anybody can do all that kind of stuff, right? It doesn't really mean much of anything. You very quickly realize that it's going to go very, very quickly beyond just a screenshot very shortly. But first things first, for the sake of being able to accurately and quickly describe the data and what we're going to be getting into, I want you to take a quick look at this sheet very quickly. I want you to draw your attention to certain elements on this, even though your eyes have probably already digested this by now. I want you to very quickly, closely examine the total amount of email sent over a period of a single week. Yes, a week is 7 days, ladies and gentlemen, and that's not a typo. Those are commas. That equates to around 50 million emails sent every single day. That's 2 million emails per hour. That's 600 emails per second. That's what you're dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm going to be giving to you. That's what we're going to be talking about and exploring to ultimately make a whole bunch of this stuff. That's 501, 076. Or in other words, $500,000, or in the eyes of somebody else that wants to sound cool, $500,000 sitting right there in the space of a week, equating to, of course, $70,000 a day or $3,000 an hour. Now, you may be asking yourself, Jordan, this is the first time I've heard of anything like this. Why didn't you make these claims in your sales propositions, all these other things? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not all about this money. I'm not all about making huge, crazy, outlandish claims on some bloody sales page. I'm about giving the information and content and giving everything up front and you making a qualified decision for yourself without having any kind of fake, bullshitty, overly descriptive, crappy sales proposition put in front of you. You will see for yourself the potential of what we're going to be going through. So when I see and hear this individual, usually the loudest person in the room wearing something like a ClickFunnels shirt or most of the type, or they're bitching to me about Snapchat or some kind of they've got a really nice house with some kind of crap behind them and all that other kind. Or they're in, somebody's bedroom and they're claiming to be an absolute bloody millionaire. And I see all this kind of stuff. I just do this. I just sit down, like, as I'm scrolling from my phone in bed, like, you got me, mate. You're totally right. I believe you. I've now moved camps from where I am to over where you are. I don't think anybody should do all this stuff. I don't think anybody should sit behind the scenes for the last 5 years and be able to make the amount of money that most people can't even calculate. When they see it on paper, they struggle to grasp it. When they are writing it in their checkbook, when they're looking to purchase a property, they have to keep it very slowly and carefully because they keep forgetting how many digits are in that number when they go to purchase or they go to buy or they go to rent or they go to lease or they make these crazy extravagant things. Those are the individuals that are sitting behind the scenes making the real money, that are not screaming, shouting and saying, look at how much money I bloody have. The amount of crazy claims and showmanship and Ty Lopez levels of backgrounds I could push are absurd, but I choose to not do it for the claims I made earlier on. That's just not me. It's not just what I'm about, ladies and gentlemen. But I want to now make an admission to you. I want to be able to kind of take you on a very honest exploration of my character and what it is that I am. And no, I'm not going to be breaking down, oh, I was homeless, lost my leg, and I grew it back. I'm going to be talking about the money, the stuff that you actually care about, and how it interconnects with this character that you're listening to here and now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm only living on around 10 to 20% of this right now. Yeah, seriously. I am not on $500,000 per week. I am not on, $70,000 a day on this. Yes, $70,000 a day, $3,000 an hour. I am not pushing this kind of volume anymore. No way, shape, or form am I going to do that. And for this very reason, by choice. Why would I choose to not do this to the levels of which I used to, the levels of which that I was explored and shown and walked through by some of the most richest, most successful self-made CPA affiliate super gods in existence? Why would somebody choose to not do that, ladies and gentlemen? When I can tell you why. At a certain point, you're able to develop and go through the phases, the little boyish type stuff. You get the nice car, you get the stupid stuff, you go on the shopping sprees, you buy more Segways than what you possibly could to even use in a lifetime, because you can't be asked to wait for the ones to charge up. You buy the houses, the pianos. You do all of that. You buy the appreciating assets. You establish and create long-term investments that have no way, shape, or form any overlap of your previous investments or assets. You do it all. You explore it and you create it. And at a certain point, ladies and gentlemen, you get to where I am. If you walk the same path as me, if you go through the same, situations as me, you'll most likely end up exactly where I am as well. If you are the type of character of ethical standing and moral obligation, that is what I feel a true entrepreneur is. You look after your circle, you provide for your circle. But I'm not saying, Jordan, what do you mean? Can I not spoil myself? By the love of God, you go out there, you work hard, you make something. You deserve to spoil yourself. You deserve to enrich yourself of the spoils of your work, the fruits of your labor, the sweat of your back, the pains in your muscles, the neglect that you've given to your circle by pushing and working these 12, 15 hours per day. It's now time to give it back, to help those people, to provide and do what it is that you want. Okay, so on this note, sometimes time is in fact worth more than money. Sometimes there are a finite number of properties that you can develop and create and live in after you got through the whole, oh, I own 4 houses, look how crazy I am. After the businesses, after the relationships, after the family members, after, helping people out, after buying a couple of sheep to live on your land a little bit. You do it all, you play it all. So I so chose to feel I'm going to sacrifice not my time anymore. I'm going to value what it is that I want to be able to do. And one of the most important variables that was the catalyst to these types of decisions that will just justify why I am where I am now and not where I could be if I wanted to take the piss, keyword, taking the piss here, is that the legal roadmap in this world is totally unknown. It's ever changing. It is moving so fast and it's a speed that nobody can calculate. And what's around that corner, who the hell knows? We don't know what will be passed or what will come out of nowhere. Cambridge Analytica came out of absolutely nowhere, and then GDPR popped up 3-4 months later. That is fact, ladies and gentlemen. That has changed lives just as quickly as Amazon dropping affiliate rates, just as quickly as Google pushing updates that destroy spam indexing and all this other kind of crap. I think it was like back in between 2005 and 2007, when anybody could be a millionaire on Google just by punching a bunch of links to somewhere and pushing it. You just never know what's going to happen. You just never know. How would I know if they create some like CAN email act where it is illegal to send an email total without permission, right? How absurd and crazy would that be? It would be totally decimate my assumed livelihood and all these other potential investments I was saving for because I was just being silly and stupid. No, I chose to now live and move along this direction, which by all means, you can do whatever it is that you want to be able to do. But I want you to take into consideration, this is something that I find that encapsulates what I'm doing here very quickly and easily. Some Rothschild heir, I'm not sure he's the actual one. I think it was another baron that actually said a quote that was something like this, but he said, treat the stock market like a cold shower. And I want to make a quick addition change to this. I want you to treat email CPA marketing like a cold shower. You have the potential to make an absurdity amount of returns by sending offers and talking to people and systemizing and scaling it very, very quickly and efficiently, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what I recommend moving forward that you keep in front, back, and middle of your mind when I'm developing and exploring and showing you these strategies. I want you to learn this. I want you to get in. I want you to earn your money, and then I want you to get out. Can you at least understand where I'm coming from when I say this? Is that I'm not going to say you go out there and you make all the stupid, crazy amount of extortionate claims and making all of this soup. You're going to make supercars, you're going to have all this kind of crap. That's what I want you to that's what you should see on people's shirts and chests when they're going into this, when they so-called claim themselves as being entrepreneurs. we develop and create projects, we earn from those projects, we establish consistency, we achieve goals, and then we diversify and move into other goals that are more challenging and proportional to our newfound wealth. We don't bury ourselves in one singular project. Now, you can make a lot of money in this. Even if you made this over the course of 2 years, $500,000 is a hell of a lot of money you can spread around. And you can guarantee that you can effectively spread this kind of money around. But what you cannot guarantee on is what's going to happen in this legal world. That's where I'm coming from here, ladies and gentlemen. So before I get into even more kind of claims, I need you to manage your expectations a little bit here. I've showed you a lot of money. I've showed you a lot of claims. I made a lot of claims, but that's not really what you want to kind of hear. Here's a claim that I'm going to wholeheartedly put my hand on. After going through all of these calls, after engaging, after using my services, after asking me questions, after building off, passing conversations and questions from each other in the group or in these calls, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be seeing people making money definitively, but I can't determine how much you will make. So here's a claim. On average, around $50 to $500 per month return, leveraging and using these strategies is a fair, reasonable, realistic claim of returns. Here and now, you'll never hear or see this in any kind of other program or community because they're all earnings disclaimer and this is just this is our expectations of earnings and all this kind of crap. No. You will see what to do, to the point of I was speaking to Sam for days before this call thinking, oh my God, I need to get them to sign some kind of DocuSign thing to not only protect myself, because these guys, there's going to be some people in this group right now listening to this, either right now or the recording, who are going to be greedy, selfless, unethical, unmoralistic assholes who are going to bleed and suck this dry. And they're going to ruin it for everyone, just like Cambridge Analytica fucked up everything. Get in, get what you can, get out. Okay. If you follow me and you listen, you ask your questions, I will be there for you. I will be here to help you. I'll challenge me, ask me questions. There's nobody in this community or my previous communities or my other boot camps that I've ever made that will ever say, yeah, they may say they don't like me, whatever the hell, but they will never say that I was never there for them. Ever. Try it. Send me an email. I will try that. I'll be there. I'll sort you out. All I ask is you follow what I say. You don't just rip it off. You don't just like go through it on, oh God, this is another thing. You're like, what the hell's the point here? Don't be one of these absurd, dreamer numbers type crap. You're already looking at supercars and houses like this stuff. It's like, I can't be alone when I see this. You have to be like me in order for you to even be here. But when you see this, not only do you cringe, not only do you say that everybody seems to look like a fucking 16-year-old white guy who's super successful all the time. Have you ever noticed that correlation? Like, guys, you know that it's crap. You know that it's absurd. You know it's not real. You know that real successful individuals don't look, act, or operate like this unless it's like they're the child of a billionaire or some kind of crap. So when you see this fake image of what it is to be a successful business owner, do not associate this, all of this rubbish and crap, but like I said, with what I said in association with spoiling yourself by being able to work these hours and then going into Louis Vuitton or buying your car. You earned it. You did it. But all in proportion. Okay. You get what you put in is what you come out, is what I'm trying to butcher and say here. So I'm going to make you a promise. Right now, here and now, just like the legal disclaimer that I made right at the beginning of the call, I'm going to give each and every single one of you a promise that I'm going to hold by, and you can hold this up in a court of law and say, this guy made this promise, Your Honor. Perform, Jordan. Do it. Right, I'll do it. Here and now, I'll make you a promise. Each and every one of you on this call right now, I'll give and do whatever it takes to help you get results. I'm going to help you get out of the slump, with a million things on your mind and give you something that generates an output equal to the pain and heartache that you put in. Finally, that's why I chose to do this in a boot camp and not some overly complex, organized, whiteboard-esque video. If you can say it, if you can preach it, if you can do it, you should be able to share and explore it on the spot in extortionate detail. Otherwise, you're full of shit, period. You don't know. You can't explain it. You will hate me by the end of this, potentially. But you will have results. When you hear my name, you may shudder, squirm, cry, or just want to punch something, but you will have results. That's my promise to you guys here and now. Even you guys watching this video, if you put in and you try and you test it, I will be there. If you're sick and tired of all this other crap, just make this the definitive line. It's like, okay, this guy said it. He's going to do it. I'm going to try him up. I'm going to email him. I'm going to see what I can possibly do. I'm going to make a post. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to share a resource. I'm going to ask him a question where he got this. At the 27-minute mark on Video Forge, and you said this. What about it? Try it. I'm here. Your move. And speaking of moves, how about you make a promise to yourself? How about you make a promise here and now, moving through this with me, that if you, of course, you could be here just for the content, screw all this other crap. Maybe you could be after one particular aspect of one particular thing that I'm going to be talking about at one particular point. But you'd be doing yourself a disservice. You'd be doing yourself a disservice to the point of, I don't know, like having an hour-long conversation with Warren Buffett and asking one question. What a shame. What a mistreatment of that person's expertise, his world experience. And you asked him what his favorite steak was, or how to cut the steak in a particular way, or how he got started. If you want to know all that kind of crap, just buy a fucking book. But if you're only here to watch how to make something, make this promise to yourself here and now. Use these strategies to ethically and legally build yourself and establish yourself of a point of reference in your mind of no ignorance, having no point of having a decision being made that will question or destroy or hurt. That is a strong moralistic hero that you want to be and see yourself as. No amount of money in the world is worth that, ladies and gentlemen. Be who you saw as a hero when you were 10 years old. Challenge yourself to be that person every single day, and you can make yourself to be that person. I want you to forget all of the crap that's out there that you thought was important within the marketing world, and only focus on the strategies of this mastermind here and now for at least the duration. That's the least that you can bloody do. Please, come on. Be that guy that says, you know what, Jordan, I hate you. It's whatever the hell. You're annoying. I hate your voice. But I'll do everything that you say. And if it doesn't work, I'll then punch you in the face and say, it didn't work. You're full of it. That's all I'm asking, guys. That's all that I'm asking. Complete all of your daily actions, all the work, no matter what. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Only focus on the monetary tasks. Don't bother with the logos and all this other kind of crap. Get in, get out, earn it, or lose it, or never make it. Okay, you need to accept that you're going to be devoting yourself to time, to tasks at times that it's going to be annoying, tedious, mind-numbingly boring. I hate math. I hate numbers. It kills me. I'm not built for it. I'm just not. I'm really not. I'm not some kind of superhuman in any way, shape, or form. I absolutely despise this. But what I do appreciate and understand is that as long as I'm persistent in the pursuit of the accomplishment of my goals, at whatever length, sacrifice, or personal loss I need to endure during that acclamation on that mountaintop in the bloody rain, then I will get there. Period. But I know I won't get there if I stop moving, if I quit, if I change direction. That's all that I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. It's all that I'm saying. Make your own promises, do it or not. It's up to you. Write that everywhere, do it or not. Okay? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's break down this particular call. By the end of this call, I'm going to be helping you to give you a clear and comprehensive, actionable understanding of the fundamentals that is affiliates, That is affiliate marketing. That is affiliate marketing strategy. I'm going to be giving you a comprehensive understanding of what email architectures are. That's you. You will understand what email architectures are. You will understand the security parameters when it comes to email. You will understand the independent and shared server types. You'll understand deliverability factors. You'll understand what reputation comes in and it comes to email. You will understand all the available tools, services, and third-party clients, resources, and items that exist within this vainly veiled perception most people can't even accurately even describe or even know exists when it comes to email. You will have a thoroughly detailed comprehension and proficiency of this email harvesting program that I've blurred very carefully and consistently throughout this whole like conversation of this boot camp. I'm giving you a whole bunch of strategies and items that you can use to explore and use this. I'm giving you some tutorials, I give you some lessons, I give you some best practices, and to ultimately align yourself with the goal, the ultimate transformation that is by once you get to the end of this conversation, that is Mastermind Bootcamp. I'm going to be giving you, a way to efficiently perceive marketplaces, to build audiences effortlessly through, indirect, qualitative, epistemological, psychographic, demographic, firmographic, and all of that other fancy pants, long-worded human psychological crap that is developing and understanding your customers, what they want, their desires, and all that type of stuff, and how to write to them, how to get them to perform actions, how to get them to do stuff. I'm going to be breaking that kind of stuff down at a certain point. You're going to know how to do it as well. And to ultimately, this last call is going to be the big boy. This is probably where your money's actually going to pay for itself 10 times over. Because if I can show you up to this point how to understand what affiliate marketing is, you understand the fundamentals, you're going to directly know how to operate in this world by knowing the fundamentals. Then you're going to understand you need to traffic, you need all this other kind of crap. You're going to need to know how to inbox. You already know how to do that from the previous calls. You're going to know how to get people to open emails, people how to act, how to build relationships with individuals that start from 100% cold interaction. Anybody can do that. That's out there. That's easy. But what they don't know how to do is how to scale it. How to go from sending a couple thousand emails to millions of emails. If you know, it's like that whole saying in dodgeball, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. If you can dodge 10 wrenches, you can dodge 10 balls. Right? You with me? If you can understand the fundamentals of how it is to carry a human being on two legs and propel forward motion without falling over, you can effectively leverage and use that same methodology to walk 10 million steps. That is the definition and context of what a true program that promises a transformation can do. Not only gives you the transformation, but gives you all the fundamental understanding and knowledge on how to actually do that bloody thing over and over again. You will be able to replicate and create independently this entire bootcamp, mastermind, whatever it is for yourself after the fact, for the level of comprehension that you should ultimately have. Because if you don't have that level of comprehension, you've given yourself a disservice by not asking the questions and engaging and talking and breaking all of this down. That's the only way that I've learned. It's the only way I've been able to teach people. It's a long form conversation. Breaking it down until there's absolutely no more questions you could possibly have. All the spin-off child questions that come off a primary question. Till there's nothing left. You don't know. You can't understand it. If you don't understand it, you can't use it. If you can't use it, you won't make anything with it. Oh, my throat's bloody going already. Give me a minute. Over the coming weeks, guys, call number 1, this one. We're going to be going over the skills, blah, 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 the current methodology for affiliate. Call number 2. When I say advanced, it's advanced email mechanics. I'm going to be breaking down the fundamentals, the performance, how it engages with affiliate, all that kind of crap. Everything you need to know on email, essentially. I'm going to be moving into the scraper software stuff, the lead generation, the central lead generation systems that was going to... On creation of this program was the spine, the backbone, the catalyst, the fundamentals of what all this other stuff came from. But as you'll very quickly see, this is going to be a footnote in relation to the other calls. Well, that's call number 3. Call number 4, this is what I spoke about by developing and understanding human psychology, how to create characters, how to build brands, how to be able to get certain assumptions and emotional drivers in relation to brands at whatever warmth level an individual may be, at whatever point along a transformational journey in the buying cycle they may in fact be. Essentially, a lot of copy design, alcohol, and white paper. That's going to be that core. And last and final core. Oh, I say last core, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the last core, by the way. It's going to be cover things in place of the Q&A stuff. But the last and final one, essentially how to, like, if you've ever sent an email and it didn't inbox, it landed in spam, or it landed in promotions, or you don't know which carrier it's using, or you don't understand any of this other stuff, I will break down and show you every single thing that you need to know to have a step-by-step breakdown on how to do essentially anything when it comes to email and whatever action you so choose to use it. That's why I had that massive disclaimer, because I'm going to be teaching you how to send. If I can successfully show you how to send one email 99.9% of the times, then you can send 1 million emails successfully 99.999999 times. Do you understand this? Do you understand why I had to alleviate and talk about get in, get out before the fucking, you get a guy with a symbol on his shirt knocking on your door with black shades and an earpiece? Get in, get out, period. 5 simple calls intertwined with a bunch of Q&A calls. That's it. That's my plan. That's what I'm going to be doing for everybody. Okay. We're about 40 minutes into this and I haven't actually got to the content yet. But don't worry, because here's the content. Because, ladies and gentlemen, everybody sitting at home watching this, everybody sitting on the call right here and now listening to this, this is where you are, this very moment. This little flag, this blob. That's where you want to get to. Like I highlighted at the very beginning, the transformation of at least $500 per month coming in via the project that is CPA marketing. I've probably given you the illusion that it's going to be just like that, a simple line, a point A to point B journey. It's simple transformation. It's going to have no ups, downs, or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make a very, very important admission of guilt, promise, and disgust to you here and now, because in reality, it's going to look something like that. It's going to be lots of crying. There's going to be lots of blood. There's going to be lots of strong words. It's going to be lots of, Jordan, I need to sleep on your couch for the next foreseeable future conversational points, ladies and gentlemen, because as you may have realized, if you ask somebody on how to explain what quantum theorem is and they don't know what a tensor is to begin with, this kind of thing goes on in your brain. Where do I begin? What do I talk about? How do I condense and push this in a logical fashion and introduce things at the most appropriate point? How do I build that journey? How do I create a story around that? How do I make it entertaining? How do I make it so people don't just shoot themselves after the first 20 minutes when I'm breaking this stuff down? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make no false claims on the difficulty and amount of comprehension that you're going to have coming into this. This is not a simple world. This is a very analytical, numbers, engineering based framework that's going to be a hard time. It's going to be fun because, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be fun. And anybody that says it's going to be fun and easy, they just don't know what they're talking about. The results are fun, the money, the flashy crap, that's cool. Yeah, but my God, the stuff what you do to get into this, just dealing with Facebook alone, for instance, it's a fucking nightmare. You just can't, just like, why is it got to be like that? Why have they changed their interface for the 5th time this year? It doesn't make sense. You're going to be dealing with a lot of that kind of crap, ladies and gentlemen. But you know, that's the existence, the world we live in. It's like, Jordan, I've given you money. I'm going to get the transformation anyway, right? So it's like, that's, you know, I've got to deal with it. I've got to do it. But don't worry. In fact, worry, but relax intermittently here and now. Listen to the soft tones of my voice because I'm going to try my best to take you through this, because I did, in theory, think of a logical way of explaining this. In a story, in a way that's kind of entertaining, in a way that should ultimately get it to stick in your mind and for you to be able to comprehensively regurgitate this at the point of need. You with me? That makes sense? Okay, lovely. Everyone's saying fantastic. even though, but anyway, you know, think of it like this, you know, first time you're riding your bike, scary as hell, you know, all those that have parents, all that kind of crap, you know, they push you on the bike, you have a good go. But before you know it, you've established a lifelong skill and you can apply and have multi like a performance vectors, things that adds to it. You know, if you can ride a bike, you can ride a motorbike. If you can ride a motorbike, you can ride a jet ski, and so on and so forth. So think of it like that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's how this is. Like with anything, you practice it enough, you're going to get good at it. And ultimately, you know, you don't sue me out of false claims. Like, you know, I expected to be able to ride a bike, but I have no legs, Jordan. Like, what the fuck is this? But anyway, so back at the storyboard, right here and now, this is where we are. This is the reality of it all. We're going to have our ups and downs. We're going to go all back. We're going to have backspaces. We're going to have forwards. We're going to have mistakes. We're going to have, we're going to spend money. We're going to lose money. We're going to make money. We're going to get inboxes. We're going to get IPs banned. We're going to get all this kind of crap. But it's going to be my job to identify the points of information and logically convey that to you in an efficient manner so that we can basically make these jumps as efficiently as possible to whatever position that you currently are. So don't worry. I'm going to try my best to get there, because otherwise I'm screwed, right? Because I made that crazy guarantee. But I'm pretty sure that this is going to work. So here's my plan. In words, this is how I'm going to do it for you. First things first, I'm going to establish a universal baseline of what this affiliate marketing thing is. I'm going to help you to solve a lot of the misconceptions and difference in terminologies and what you've kind of gathered along, you know, lots of baggage of certain things before you even come to this point. I'm going to establish a baseline. I'm going to bring everybody and assume everybody is a complete 100% beginner, and then I'm going to build everybody up from being a complete beginner that don't know what an email is all the way to, you know, being a super awesome, you know, affiliate mastermind. You're going to actually know all this kind of crap, because there's a lot of crap out there, and I don't know what you know and what you don't know. So first things first, I'm going to establish a baseline and then build you from that. Once I've established that baseline, and you know, I'm going to quite quickly and simply and legally non-liably explain my own experiences when it comes to affiliate marketing and what I've seen in recent years, what I've become aware of, and make a lot of answers to a lot of elephants that have been in the room around, you know, fallacies, misconceptions, and the actual, in the eyes of the law, what certain things actually mean and what they do. It's not just, oh, I saw this thing on Facebook, so that, no. Go to the bloody source, you idiot. See it for yourself. That's what they quote in the courtroom. That's what the judge has to read and abide by. That is a law. So we're going to talk about that for that point. And then we're going to move into the actual strategies, the actual roadmap from how you know affiliate marketing. You've got all the fundamentals from beginner, intermediate to advanced level kind of comprised and put in very neatly and accurately here. We're then going to, from that pool of information, establish that roadmap, and then we're going to walk that roadmap, and you're going to understand why every step is where it is. You're going to understand why every jump is where it is. You're going to understand why every bridge is how it's built like that. You're going to understand all of that because you understand the fundamentals now. There's going to be no gaps in knowledge here, hopefully, if I do my job correctly here. Okay? Pretty simple stuff. Your knowledge, going to give you some confidence. Roadmap. Easy peasy. That's my plan. That's how I'm going to try and squash and skew and all that kind of like icky, horrible, big, long word map type thing in a nice, simple, laid back, easy to digest fashion. So what's affiliate marketing? Oh, guys, how many of you, and a lot of you are pretty advanced in this field, so this is why I did suggest alcohol and those kind of crap. So bear with me here. So like this is why I said the definitions. Most people don't even have bloody definitions of this crap. It's insane. Here's my definition: a marketing arrangement by which a brand or retailer pays a commission to an external party in exchange for traffic or predetermined actions from those referrals. Is that or is that not a fair definition description of what affiliate marketing is? Essentially. But of course, over the years, like I mentioned briefly, is that everything's evolving, everything's changing, everything's moving in different directions, different updates, the ecosystem's constantly changing, people moving in, people moving out, people get sued, legislation's put in place, everything has to adapt, blah, blah, blah. Everything is changing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get used to how any one thing actually is. Do not get comfortable. Do not get laid back. The moment that you do, What's that thing in Sun Tzu? You know, the moment you become comfortable, you're on like solid ground or moving ground or whatever, then you basically get fucked. You get screwed. Don't be like that. Anyway, affiliate marketing, you know, blah, 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 blah. Networks now exists to help speed up and introduce affiliates and publishers to consumers, or that type of stuff. They're the middleman now. They make things easier, apparently. That's what they do. Very simple layout of what it is. You've got your advertisers, which is the brands, retailers, you know, those types of stuff. Sometimes they're known as merchants in the space. I don't really know why. I'd prefer if they were called merchants. I sometimes get brain farted when they're called advertisers because I assume that that's me. No, you are in fact the publisher, the affiliate, the representative who can provide the traffic at a condition. I provide traffic at this quantity. You pay me this amount per guaranteed results that my traffic can provide. And of course, you've got consumers, the people that actually pay your traffic, essentially, the consumers, the people that actually buy on your recommendation, referral, or pre-marketing or pre-pages or whatnot to the advertiser, and that action takes place. There are lots of types of affiliate marketing. I kind of like got a bit crazy there. Lots of types of affiliate marketing. These are a couple that I could think of on the spot. You know, I'm not going to read them all out. You can pause it. You can see for yourself. There's lots of types of affiliate marketing, but we're going to obviously be specifically focused on the email marketing aspect, but we'll get to that in a moment. How do affiliates actually make money? Very simple. Either a percentage of a sale or a fixed amount per action, like I mentioned prior. What does that mean? Well, you know, your referred visitor must act, and you know, before visiting the merchant's site, you know, before you're actually compensated. It's as simple as that. Of course, you know, terms around this are, you know, open to negotiation, as with everything when it comes to affiliate marketing. Never settle, never assume just because it says that on a website that is in fact how it is. I don't want anybody to be making any kind of assumptions or relying on any other third party around their own success or situation. You see that amount on the network page, call them up, get a better deal. You see that they pay out every 3 weeks, call them up. You want it every week. And then meet in the middle at 2 weeks, whatnot. But that's the point. That's what it is. But to kind of summarize, you either get paid a percentage of a sale or a fixed amount per action in its most simplistic form. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. From this, depending upon the network, of course, that you're actually with, or the relationship or the sponsor that you're dealing with, you're going to have several options on actually how you see and feel that money as a result of your work. And most networks or relationships are built upon checks, fortnightly wire transfers, like I said, negotiated prepaid credit cards, or third-party payment processors. For instance, if you're going around a network, or most networks, they could use, say, PayPal, right? You can't get money if they say you got to use PayPal, and you got to use PayPal and use PayPal to make your money. Or you can negotiate and say, no, I want a check, whatever. You get the point. Important terminology. This is something that kind of grinds my gears a little bit because everybody seems to change these. For at least the context of this mastermind, please use these. It's when I say certain things, when I say certain letters, this is what I'm referring to. Once this boot camp and whatnot's over, by all means, go back to how it was. But in order for the sake of communication and nothing to be lost in translation, this is what the stuff means. Okay, total clicks, blah, 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 blah. You get all of that. Pretty simple. The only thing actually that I want to kind of bring your attention to is actions here and now. A lot of people don't explore the difference between actions or engagements. Most people probably don't even know what the difference is. They probably think it's the same bloody thing. No, it is in fact completely different. An action this is fact. This isn't just me talking out my ass as usual. This is fact. That's how it is seen in the space. An action is a user performing something that you're monitoring on a singular page. You with me? You with me so far? From that singular action, it triggers. It's like something happens. They click the button, a pop-up appears, they opt in. They are redirected to a new page as a result of this. Think of it as the user goes on one page, they do something, they are transported to a second page. This is recorded in the industry as an action. For ease of translation, think of it like a Facebook custom conversion. Think of it as sending an email. They click the email. They are now on a page. That would be determined as an action. because they have left one platform to go to another platform. They've gone from one medium to the other medium. They are now on the web page. It's what's commonly known as a bridge page or a pre-sale page. They see a button on that page. They click that button. It goes to the sales page. That would also be determined as an action. Makes sense? Super easy peasy. An engagement. An engagement is not like an action. An engagement is something that happens and they don't go to a different page. For instance, they click your Facebook like button underneath a video. That would be determined an engagement. An engagement could be the amount that they scroll on a singular page. An engagement could be how long they are on a page. Very, very important distinctions. Again, for ease of translation from all you Facebook marketers, think of this like a Facebook event, but don't look too much into it as a Facebook event, because most events are predetermined based upon false preconceptions that Facebook pushes, because they already make certain assumptions that it's on a button that 9 times out of 10 always go to someplace else. You with me? Ask your questions on this. You will inevitably ask your questions on this at a certain point. There's going to be certain situations and environments, such as a pop-up. What's that determined as? Or a script that runs on a page. Is that an engagement or an action? No, so on and so forth. There are lots of things here, but don't get too worked up. Those are very simple, super, super simple stuff. And of course, you got, your CPA. Like, so another point here is your cost per action, not CPA in the sense of cost per acquisition, what most people from most different verticals in marketing see it as. No, it's the cost per action. You with me? And we already know what actions are, as we've just discussed. They are like engagements, custom conversions, for instance. Awesome stuff. I'm glad I haven't lost anybody. Or you've all just muted yourself and said, for fuck's sake, do you want to get to the stuff I actually want to listen to? This will be in a folder very neatly. Lots and lots of terms are going to be outlined there. I'll be equipping everybody with it, so don't worry. It's another thing that always comes up is this like, most people don't actually know what differentiates those in the affiliate space to other people in the affiliate space. And the simple criteria of success to the degree that most people are determining it as. Like a lot of people in this community who are watching this have probably made something or explored affiliate world in some space, but they haven't clocked on. They don't know what's separating them from these super stupid earners when it comes to affiliate. Right? You with me? Does that make sense? So here's my definition. Here's what I've broken down as seeing the two individuals types. I'm not going to break down that person, but what is it? The two super affiliate, like the difference between the guy that makes a little bit of money or no money and the goddamn super god. Most people don't even know. Well, here's my, I don't know. I don't want to say qualified opinion, but let's just keep it to an opinion on what the difference is here. This super affiliate, this person I've seen over and over again that's always making something is an individual that can very easily visualize an imagery in a visual form, the landscape of everything they're dealing with from a 30K perspective. They can visualize their office. They can see their forms. They can see their pages. They can see their audiences. They can see the legal landscape and how it's changing, what's going to happen 6, 12, 3 years from now. They can perceive all of those things and plan accordingly and move effortlessly like a leaf on a stream. They know they can adapt easily because they can visualize the whole journey. They're never reactive. They see it calmly. Everything's no stress. It's totally fine. Just imagine yourself on a step ladder looking down at a puzzle. That's all that you need to do, and that's all that they can do very well. They justify everything in accordance with the success of a campaign. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? What's the benefit here? Why is there a different thing? That every single thing that they're doing is justified in accordance to the variable of success that is of a particular campaign. Every single thing. Does that make sense? There is no, I don't know why I checked that. I don't know why I'm using email over solo ads. I don't know why I'm using that website over this website. There's none of that because they know, because they've broken it down. Think of it. That makes total sense. There's never assumptions, there's never as clueless like opinions based upon like, well, that's the thing Jordan uses, so it has to be. No, ask why. That's why it is. That's why I've always found it difficult to explain the landscape of certain things, because I need you to understand why I've chosen this and not just use the thing. Because you'll get so much more value by putting a little bit more work of understanding my epistemological outlook on why I so choose to come to this conclusion, to use this tool, resource, item, service, whatever. That's where the real value is going to be coming from. They can justify everything. There is no doubt. And any direct or indirect action being called into question or confused with a logical reasoning. It kind of falls into the previous point, but this is more so along the lines of, say, sending in a 100% cold email to a list and that person being confused or not sure, or there's a total disconnect between the marketer's actions and the consumer actions. It's difficult. There's a giant void there. A super affiliate is able to bridge that void as closely as possible to make the situation, the transcript, the conversation between the two entities as logical as humanly possible. Does that make sense? Are you with me there? Oh God, they're able to show consistency in planning campaign stratagem. This is the big, like, this is the stuff that's like, really, you can't teach this kind of crap. This is the where experience and stuff comes in, but this is where it is. They're able to plan in accordance to environmental factors, other key variables, no degradation or lapse in comprehension over other variables. Like, for instance, you move one variable down 3 notches, 6 go up, 4 go down, and you're able to see and visualize that to at least a point of acknowledgeable comprehension that if I do this, those things will change. And also being able to compromise and take in consideration unknown or theoretical events happening in the future, in the sense of building a campaign, something happens, a new update comes out, something that's unforeseen. You're able to accommodate that within a margin of error and thus still maintain your KPIs and success indicators of your campaign. Or in other words, plan 4 moves ahead. I'll show you how to do that very quickly. They're meticulous in their analytical absorption of quantitative data, their comprehension and application to further the campaign's ongoing performance in accordance to a predefined success criteria. In other words, they're able to identify their goals and they're able to reverse engineer from those goals a series of actions that are going to get them there consistently. That's it. That's all that they do. They don't just pull a number out their ass. I want to make $500 million in 6 weeks. No, don't work like that. That's stupid. It doesn't make no bloody sense. They have their own depository of research products cataloged, rated, described, and organized in accordance to their predetermined scheduled campaigns. We're going to be getting into that very quickly, but we don't just pluck out an offer that's currently in existence right now because we need it right now. We've already cataloged, planned, measured, determined the details around that offer, and we've established offers together in groups and so on and so forth. But we'll get into that very shortly when it gets to the strategies and things. But they're able to take catalog. They're able to take 4 offers from this network, 6 from this effort. They're in the process of negotiating an independent deal with this product owner. They're able to begin conversations with this brand owner. They're able to put together a series of campaigns that are logical, consistent, and make sense to every party involved. And this is all done 3 months, 2 months, 1 month in advance to make a window of no reactive, calm ease of use. So the longer that you plan, the longer that you push, the more energy and efforts that you put into something success over a longer period of time, the higher the degree of that success is going to be. That's done, period. Now, that's not to be misconstrued or confused with degradation or miscommunication of focusing on monetary tasks. No, it isn't. The strategy will highlight that when I explore it, but don't get it misconstrued. I'm not justifying here by telling people that spend 6 months on one campaign make money. No, what I'm saying is that by planning something over a period of time, that's not like I've got 2 days to do this because I've got to make whatever. I want to send out an email blast. I'm going to scrape this for 15 minutes and I'm going to find this one off. No, super affiliates don't do that. Like, for instance, the character that you were listening to and the promo videos for this, scrape one thing, find one off. No, we don't do that. That's just child's play. Anybody that saw that and thinks that's exactly what we do is delusional. They don't actually know, because that, of course, isn't what actually makes the real money. And we are here for the real money. And talking about plans and schedules and timelines, are able to develop a campaign calendar that's at least 30% flexible within a week's notice. You know, the more skilled you are and open and organizationally gifted you are, you're able to shorten the amount of time it takes you to adapt, modify, and, you know, react to certain events in the macro environment that you can't control. Are you with me? And we will get to all of the details there as we move through, and how we can reverse engineer the steps to give everybody the tools to do all of this. That's the whole point of this course, to build you up from a foundation of no knowledge to being a super affiliate in the context of email CPA. Here's what I recommend. Just one more, just a sip of this crap, one moment. Okay. So apparently I'm talking about the traits of those that, right, okay, because I'm talking, all right. So here's what I recommend. Have a daily routine, you know, utilize work time efficiently. I'm not saying get up at 5 a.m. or all this other kind of shit. What I'm saying, what the fuck was that? God, that's not my phone. I swear to fucking God. Anyway, like, have a routine that, you know, that you can follow. And I'm not just saying work time and all that kind of crap. What I'm saying is, like, work into it. Make your bed every morning or every other morning. Negotiate with yourself a reasonable time for work, reasonable time for play, a reasonable time for spiritual growth, reasonable time for just sitting around doing nothing. But the point is to establish a routine and follow it religiously, and then being able to improve and adapt slowly, like developing a muscle. This is how we're going to be able to consistently develop a routine that's going to be able to create a slowly developing seed in your mind to create this effigy, this shell that's going to be filled with the qualities of a successful affiliate individual. And we're going to then, okay, you now are a successful affiliate individual without even realizing it, because you are possessing all of the qualities of a successful individual without you even realizing. You slowly did it over a period of time. Okay. A couple of points as well. They're persistent with data interpretation and evaluation. Why is Facebook doing this? Why is this solo ad performing like this? Why is this image doing that? You're asking questions. You're asking the big why questions. Why is that? Why is it that Yahoo is spamming and more difficult to inbox than Google or AOL or any of these other filtering third-party systems? Why is that? We're going to break it down and explore it. You're constantly asking these why questions. You're obsessive with organization and cataloging and recording data to be very quickly and efficiently recalled at a certain point. That's it. If we're able to develop consistently habits that's going to identify and explore and filter shitty data and information to good, accurate, and extensive, comprehensive data, and then organize that efficiently with a structure that we can call upon at a certain point when we when we come across these problems, these why questions, we can call upon these resources very quickly and efficiently to aid us in the speed of how we can comprehensively solve those problems. That's how they do it. You're on your own in this game in a life raft in the middle of the fucking ocean. No one's here to help you. You need to establish these things for yourself. No one's here. You're on your own. How can you do it? By bringing all of these resources with you. Imagine being stuck on a life raft with a phone. That's the same amount of power of what I'm talking about here is going to be given to you when you move into this space. Of course, this is a big one, which I'm amazed that most people still have. I struggle with this one, just so you all know. You need to be able to remove emotion from any decision. You know, the expression, it's only business. Data and numbers are a fickle bitch. They do not care. They do not care you spent 15 grand on that media buy. They don't care. They just don't care. They don't care that suddenly a pandemic has appeared out of nowhere and taken over the fucking comprehension of most people. They don't care. But we can plan preemptively prior to that to be able to, we won't be able to accurately foresee this pandemic, but we're able to build systems in such in place that would be able to ease the transition from this solid state situation into this. But we don't get angry, we don't get upset, we don't get upset that traffic sources have been closed, we don't get upset that new email laws have appeared. We've been saving our money, we've been saving 80% and reinvesting it all. We're okay. We're not going to get emotional around it. Okay, something happens, we ask why, we figure out why it did that, and we adapt and move on. No emotion, no nothing. It does nothing. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Never act in emotion, especially anger or any of these other soppy type things. I'm telling you, you'll only hurt yourself. Again, never act on impulse or immediately. Allow a period of reflection to think about certain results and things. What I found is try to have somebody to talk at. Yes, talk at, not talk to. Just by airing and talking about the problem audibly, you'll be amazed at how, maybe it's just me, but you'll be amazed at how your brain's able to think of it on more spectrums, and it's out there physically. You've spewed out the problem into audible space, and you can hear the problem back as you're explaining it to a third party or even yourself. And it goes through this cycle, this feedback loop of your brain that's also got, on one hand, your database and depository of resources that you're consistently building and accumulating along your affiliate journey. And you're able to explore and think about these problems. And one key point that I would give to anybody's toolbox there is that there is no fixed period of time that you have that determines your successfulness or your ability or your quality. That is how quickly it is for you to solve that problem. Some problems can never get solved. And some problems will never get sorted like that, no matter how smart or crappy you think you are. So keep that in mind, okay? Except that there's never a perfect time for anything, nor, when to start. Ever. Never, ever, ever. Never in a million years. Take this bootcamp mastermind thing, for instance. It was all built upon a singular idea of putting out a bunch of videos, and people voted on this context, this theme. And then I spent about a week developing it, doing it, done. In the middle of this bloody epidemic thing. You with me? It's never a perfect time to do anything. Ever. We adapt, we resolve it, and we consistently go through that feedback loop of evaluating the problem over and over again. Like I said, you never stop learning, discussing, never out of emotion. You're consistently innovating, establishing automations, reducing your costs, developing speed efficiencies. You're bringing in third parties to outsource and eliminate bottlenecks. You're constantly doing that. You don't start it, you don't stop it. It's constantly there. And if nothing's happening right now, well, then maybe you've got what it's called. You're content with what's going on, and maybe you should get out if you're content, or maybe you're just lazy, or maybe you've come to your own goal. Who the hell knows? But that's what a successful super affiliates traits are, and that's what I'm expecting each and every one of you to be able to adapt and use going through this. There's nothing here that says none of you guys on here cannot do this. It's that simple. It's that simple. And don't ever think that by how I am articulating and talking about these points and the use of words that I'm using and the order I'm using in is giving me any kind of an illusion of intelligence or comprehension. There isn't. I'm at my wit's end trying to explain this stuff. I have no idea most of the time. I'm just trying to fall back upon what I've developed, cataloged, and processed during my time to then reverse engineer and spew back to you guys. That's it. To somebody that doesn't understand this, I probably sound like a genius. No, don't work like that. I'm telling you, there's no super genius here. There really isn't. People that know me on this call can testify to that. This is what you can be, though. regardless of your background, your comprehension, your qualifications, your understanding, your past experiences. Just try this. And if you try it consistently, daily, just like a muscle, you'll develop it. And like with any habit, it will bloom, it will create, it will make something of itself. Okay, small daily steps, from making your bed consistently to doing one push-up every morning. All of these little things develop, and you will naturally want to do 2 push-ups the next week. You will naturally want to walk a little bit further. You will naturally want to play 1 hour less. This is how it goes. You'll read 1 more page. This is literally the only distinction from those that I've seen that make it and don't. Persistence and consistency, the traits, the attributes that anybody can possess at any time they so choose. That's it. Period. No fancy crap, no daddies, no other kind of crap. Okay, so here's the actual stuff you're going to need to go through all of this. If I would start again, this is what you're going to need. Point number 1 is what I recommend. You're going to need a business entity. You're going to need something to represent you that isn't you in the space of this crazy world that is affiliate, CPA, and marketing. You never want to put your own assets. You never want to be liable in your own right doing this. Establish and create a business that you can own, that can take the front for you and also be able to pay you accordingly because you own the bloody thing. Okay? But don't think that this is an ironclad, bulletproof way to protect yourself from the eyes of the law. Even if you think that you're not in the United States, it's fine. Nothing will happen. No. They don't work like that. They'll still get you. If you're sitting in Poland to Paris to London to some hut in Scotland or next door to the White House, they will still get you. I'm telling you right now. Don't think just because you're not a national, you're going to be operating in these marketplaces. Even if you're not operating in those marketplaces, if you're in breach of these laws, they will still go for you. Don't be the guy holding the bomb. Let it be your business at the very least. You with me? Wouldn't you rather have your business go down and declare personal bankruptcy rather than just declaring personal bankruptcy? Like this is just like covering your ass stuff here. This will also, as we get to it, establish a professional and successful image that you can then use as your face to contact individuals in this world to get better deals, to be able to even get into networks, to be able to systemize and grow and do all kinds of other things as well. So here are a couple of the aspects very quickly. The name, address, bank account, phone number, email account, website. Very simple website, SSL cert verified. Ideally an age domain, but it's not going to be completely vital at the end of all of this type of stuff. Simple 4 to 5 pages. Home, what we do, about us, contact form, careers, social media presence. Couple of posts, doesn't have to be great. Couple of energies, just pull it to whatever. If the more in depth that you do this, obviously it's going to look better and more established. A blog, attach it to it. It's whatever. Legal stuff. If you haven't clocked on by now, legal's pretty important. Here's what you're going to need. Legal terms and conditions. You're going to need a privacy policy. You're going to need a GDPR policy. You're going to need a CAN-SPAM compliance policy. You're going to have a data removal request / form on your page. Okay, we're going to be going through all of this. Don't worry. If you don't know how to build a web page, don't know how to build any of this stuff, I'll show you. I'll help you. This is just what we need. If you want to go on an expedition up to Mount Everest and I didn't break down the equipment that you need and we start, that's on me. And like I said at the beginning of all this stuff, I'm not that kind of guy. I'd rather lay it all out and you think like, Jordan, you never told me I need a bloody business. Well, I'd rather you get angry at me now rather than being fucking bent over with a flag shoved up your ass. All right, because that's what will happen if you don't do this. Bonus points. An EV SSL certification. This is basically the green bar in the URL bar that highlights your business name. that looks amazing. That's great. That shows you that, you're legit. Real security seals, not just images, clickable security seals on your online entities and assets. I'll talk about how we can embed those types of things in our emails and stuff at appropriate calls, but all these things add up. Photo disclaimers, real content, not crappy, stock photos, pulled, scraped kind of crap, real generated stuff. Okay. Again, that's just one thing. We'll break all that down. No problem. Remember, just a foundation. We're talking about it. Education, crash course. This is what we're doing right now. Thing number 2, you're going to need a network. Highlighted Max Bounty because that's what most people think that I solely use, but I use quite a few. Here are a couple that I could think of at the time. Try to prioritize Max Bounty because that's what's going to be the most familiar, because that's what I'm going to be talking about and leveraging on this particular call. But the methodologies that I'm going to be leveraging and using on this call with Max Bounty open is irrelevant. You can use it on all of them. It's no problem. Except for, I don't know why ClickBank or JVZoo's there. I don't like those. They're more so particular, like trashy type things, but they're there anyways. That's what I could think of. And some of them are invite only as well, so don't get worked up. And some of them have different levels of acceptability, different like gradients of prior security. That's why a website is so important in all those levels of professionalism. Because essentially, if you're going to be professional, you need to be professional enough to be ignored. I've always said that in everything that I do. You need to be professional enough to be ignored, and that's it. There's some pleb that's going to look at your profile. They're going to go to that URL. They're going to see it's got more than 4 pages. They're going to see it's propagating. You can see it's got accurate CSS. They've got animations going on. It's real reputable individuals. It's got an EV SSL certificate at the top. It's got clickable seals. Then they move after 15 seconds and press the button, approve you. That's it. Most people don't even click into those certain pages. You could have fake job applications on your website, for God's sake. How will they know it's fake? But that's the point here. Build that perception. Build it all out. So you're going to need a network. Point number 2, you're going to need offers. We're going to be talking about those pretty quickly. You're going to need traffic, right? Guess what we're going to be using traffic? That's right. We're going to be using email. We're going to be needing that. We're going to be talking about shared SMTP, email service providers, and dedicated mail transfer agents. Very quickly. What the hell does that mean? We'll talk about it pretty quickly in the appropriate calls. We'll be breaking it all down. We're going to need some creative tools. If you're as creative as a tree stump, you're going to have a problem. But don't worry, because YouTube exists just for you, or you can go to Fiverr or some kind of crap. But I highly recommend that you get a basic fundamental understanding of Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, maybe even Illustrator as well. That's it. Creative tools around you. You're going to need tracking. We're going to be tracking a whole bunch of stuff. This is where the analytical bullcrap comes into all of this. These are a couple I could think of at the top of my head. Some are more expensive than others. We're going to be using a couple of these. We're going to be getting into the details of those at the appropriate time during this journey. We're going to need some competitive intel tools. These are pretty much optional, really, but the more information you have in a landscape, the more the better you're going to be, the more accurate, aligned, the probability you're going to get more indirect actions logically by users and consumers that are going to be taking actions on your offers, your pages, your emails, your scripts, your automations, all that type of stuff. That helps primarily with creativity, optimizations, conversions, all that type of stuff. This can be very expensive. Don't worry about it. It's neither here nor there, to be honest. You don't need this to be successful. This is not going to be the variable that's going to determine success or not. So don't worry. Web paging tools, page building tools, for instance. You notice how there's a big red thing over ClickFunnels? That's because you're not going to be using ClickFunnels to do this. I hope to Christ you don't. I don't. Maybe not even for obvious reasons. So most people know that I don't like it, but it's not going to be able to do what we want it to do. To the level of creativity required that we are going to need for the upper echelons of optimizations and creativity and customization, ClickFunnels just shits all over itself, just crying in its own, like, what is this? What's PHP? Oh, what is this? I can make a thing, a module. I can do it's like, no. At the absolute bare minimum push Unbounce has been fine so far for the level of creativity given to the user of developing certain things. Okay, it can replicate a website one for one. It may not be as back-end functional or as open as raw HTML and PHP integration and language, but it's nowhere near as hard to get your head around from a beginner than trying to code something from scratch in HTML or PHP. So we're going to be bouncing between Unbounce and HTML. Now, you may be thinking, oh my God, Jordan, I don't know. I know what HTML is, but it's programming. It's like, I don't, listen, there's only so much you can learn about swimming from a book. Sometimes your dad's just got to kick you in the balls and throw you in. Go at it, son. Do it. That's my son. That's how you do it. See, look how quickly he's learning it. And then he just goes and grabs a beer, and you know, that's one story for later. We're going to be doing it. I don't care. My favorite, creative thinking, lateral thinking, being able to look at a problem and deduce 15 million different ways on how to creatively solve that problem. Like, how many different ways can you guys describe a dog? That's right, 2. We're going to be thinking of ways on how we can add more ways of describing a particular singular item for aid in a million different ways. Angle development, scraping development, offer manipulation, creating copy, all this kind of crap. Tools for this, of course. I love to use Draw.io. It's a free, like, drag and drop flow chart layout type thing. I recommend you check that out. I still use paper. You know, I don't really use whiteboards. I'm kind of against all that kind of crap because I have a habit of writing one thing on a whiteboard and then, like, shit, I need to move it over there because there's something else, and I don't like that downtime. So I'd rather just get some paper, rip that section off, get some other paper, slap that thing on. That's why a lot of people, like, get confused when I have a lot of cork boards and stuff about. And of course, the magic creative juice over to the side. That seems to help every now and then, or at least I think it does. But that's all that it is. So of all those particular things, that's what we're going to relatively need. And I say relatively because we can give and take in certain areas. And certain areas of course, are objective and or determined by budgets and starting budgets. Well, if everybody's different, everyone has different resources and experiences or understandings and different, you know, things in their back pocket. That's not going to be necessarily be helpful if I say use this tool, use this, it costs this amount. If you can't do it, get a job. Now, I'm not about all of that, but what we can do is that some things that require money that we can't get, then we can offset that with 3 other things. So we'll get like a sort of weirdly shaped Venn diagram. So some people's bubbles are going to be bigger than others because everyone's unique and have different situations, but ultimately they will all overlap still. Okay? Speed is an illusion. As long as we get there, I don't care. As long as we get there, I don't care. And I think you don't care as long as you're moving proportionately in the right direction. So if you're looking at it like this, like, oh geez, oh God, I hope he doesn't point me out. I'm going to try and hide behind somebody else in the chat. But you know, listen, guys, I'm going to help you out. It's totally fine. Again, as always, take a breather. I'm helping you out here. And just remember, this is just the foundations. This is just this one section of your knowledge. Okay? That's it. That's all that it is. Okay? I'm going to take another sip. Oh, Christ almighty. Right, okay, so one section, your knowledge. Don't worry about it. Like I said at the very beginning, it looks scary, it looks all over the place, but describe to me something in life that is awesome or crazy that on the surface looks terrifying. It's like, there's no way I would do that. But that person then breaks it down incrementally, step by step, and you realize that it's all that it is. You're just looking at the end result of 20,000 hours of that. That's it. That is going to look amazing no matter what it is after 20,000 hours. Okay? We with me? Okay, right, awesome. And the silence says everything, so I'm going to just assume. So next point, your confidence, a little bit of rants on some stuff. I'm going to let a couple of people speak here, and it comes to this kind of crap. This is going to be this is going to be difficult for me to describe without assuming certain things about my certain whatever the thingy-majings. So I'm going to just kind of lay it all out there, and I'm not going to let you, if you assume certain things, if you just associate certain things as certain things that you're seeing, that's your own mind doing that. I never said that. But so far, I've heard of, let's use that, I've heard of ways to do search, network marketing, Google Display Network, establishing and building solo ads and media buyers. I've known ways to do what's known as form stuffing, aka post knocking, and how to artificially create situations in which posts are encouraged and your posts are, let's say, connected to certain commercial offers, and you can consistently keep hitting those with other dynamic, coincidental posts that also have the same thing, perhaps. I heard that's a thing. I'm pretty competent within media-rich content pages, niche-specific marketing sites, advertorials. This is great if you're going to be dealing with, say, the likes of Facebook, Google, YouTube traffic, being able to align yourself with the terms and the user quality experience and giving people what they want. Like, for instance, if somebody's on YouTube, they're obviously in video consuming mode, therefore they need to go to a video rich experience after the fact, is what I'm saying. I'm pretty competent in all of that. And please infer what I'm saying here when I'm exploring this stuff with you. So this is where we're going to be going ultimately. Personal and persona websites. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy that you're listening to right now, how do you even know that it is in fact Jordan Carter? How do you know Jordan Carter is even a real name? How do you even know that this person is how he acts in reality? Or how do you know it's just not a character that's been designed to be attractive to the perceptual biases that you've established in your mind as what an individual with the competencies that you're looking at as an authoritative individual would have in order for me to feel comfortable to exchange money for his time and knowledge? You don't know. That's the point. So why can't we establish multiple Jordan Carters or multiple individuals that are the mirror image of these ecosystems that we're going to be operating and developing and exploring, right? You're thinking like that now? Awesome, you're thinking like that. So direct mail and cross-platform medium exchanges. We're going to be talking heavily about email, but why not explore and talk about other things as well? Do you understand the ease and cost effectiveness of sending email? But you also understand the pros and the cons of all of that in relation to, say, sending a letter or a SMS text message or an automated call drop type things. So don't just assume by putting all your eggs in one basket that that's what's going to get you to those absurdity of numbers. I never once said that those numbers that I said at the beginning were 100% deduced from singular email. Did I? In any way, all you saw was a lot of emails and a lot of numbers at the bottom, but with no idea about what's the actual connecting mechanisms that is going on in that schematic. We will get to that. But the point I'm trying to bring up here is that we're going to be exploring and doing a whole roundup of these elements, or at least from my experience. I'm pretty good. I know how to spend a lot of emails as well. That's that point. I know a thing or two about sending a lot of emails. And when I say a lot of emails, maybe that's giving you a completely different definition of what a lot of emails actually is. I've done a bit of pay-per-call, pay-per-lead type stuff. I don't really like that kind of crap now. And also, there's last particular points. Notice how I say don't do this? Don't do this as in like capitals next to it. Like, don't do this. What is extension adware? Well, extension adware theoretically is something of the sort of being able to, say, let's say you create a calculator Chrome extension that you put on the Google Marketplace and people download it and now it's on their browser. Well, if you wanted to, you could manipulate that browser henceforth to show send or give not so accurate things to that user's like online journey. For instance, if they had your calculator extension on and they searched for baby socks on Google and they clicked the first legitimate number one ranking, not the ad, and then that goes to an affiliate offer that you have on baby socks or baby garments, that's extension adware manipulation. Or if they are on Facebook and they click on an ad about a email campaign, for instance, an email marketing program, and it's not even yours, but when they click it, it goes to your page instead. Now that's sick in a bad way. Like, what kind of sick, demented individual do something like that? There are people like that that would do that, and it sickens me. It fucking sickens me that they would do something like that. Even this other thing as well, what's known as a omnipresence bombardment. It kind of is how it sounds. An omnipresence bombardment. You receive an email. You only see this one ad on your Oprah explorations on stories. Every link that you click on, every pop-up that appears, even when you go to your desktop, even when you leave, you get letters. Even when you go to work, you get letters. Even when you go to your car, there's something underneath the window wiper. You get parcels that have an Amazon box, but it's actually like an invitation to go to somewhere to do something. You just constantly, that's illegal. That's harassment. That's like really, really bad. But there are ways to do that are pretty messed up. Now imagine doing that en masse, 10, 20, 30,000 people all over the United States, totally anonymously. You can make someone's life pretty hellish to do that. Like, I don't recommend you do that. That's bad. And the last one, SMS node assaults. I'm not going to show anybody how to do this or where to go to get this, but there are devices that exist that send out a digital signal to smartphones that would reveal and show messages when they come into close proximity to a physical node. So for instance, you could have a node in your pocket, do your shopping, and that every person that comes in a 20-meter radius of your back pocket will instantly receive a SMS to their digital device that's on their person. And that could be an affiliate link, that could be an opt-in, that could be a business, that could be anything. Right then and there. It could also ping that number and pull that person's phone number if it's not blocked. This technology has been adapted for subway credit card fraud, for contactless payments. It's also been adopted by event practitioners that go to, or like people that have large shopping malls that want to use their phones and have like beacons on their phones to show where certain things are, or virtual reality experiences for when they're in like a like a shopping mall or whatnot that shows the directions to certain stores. This is what I was talking about by having a finger on the pulse on technology and innovations and explorations of certain tech that can be applied and is applicable to certain activities in other fields. There's lots of things that you can do. Like, if, for instance, and you're as creative as what you could possibly, like, you could strap one of those SMS nodes to a fucking drone and park it on top of the store of a carpet firm that's like your competitor, and for every person that walks through the door, they get a text message just saying, don't go here, like there's rat shit on everything, come here instead. And in order to stop customers or workers to see that, you've already got all their phone numbers from publicly available databases. What I'm trying to say is that the tip of the iceberg is it's not even fair to say that analogy of what's out there. So when I was telling you about people that I was speaking to that do this kind of stuff, what we're doing is fucking nothing absolutely nothing in comparison to what's out there. Absolutely nothing. Okay.
Just to kind of make it clear, we don't condone any of that other stuff. As you can see, it's very clear, it says do not do this. So
Yep. I'm just saying that stuff exists. Like I could be talking about, it's not as controversial as saying producing 3D print maps of guns and then just sending that out there. Now that's not what this is. Like I'm not giving locations, I'm not giving resources, I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just saying as an exercise of education that being able to expand your horizons and explore these certain things when you start to develop methodologies and constantly giving yourself time to explore and talk about these things and what appear out of long form conversation when you're digging into a topic or context or a vocation is what I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Awesome stuff. Lovely jubbly. Current issues I've seen. You guys may or may not have realized that email is a very sensitive subject right now, especially after Cambridge Analytica. And I wanted to get something well and truly like sorted. Easy peasy definition. I mentioned this at the beginning. Email spam. You know, scary stuff. What is email spam? It's pretty ordeal, right? I guarantee most people in this call right now don't actually know what spam by definition is. There are a lot of definitions and definitions of what spam is in accordance to like whoever's really saying it at the time. But there's only one real definition that you ever want to follow, and that's this guy's definition. That's it. Anything else is irrelevant. How they say it, how they describe it, what they say in plain black and white is fact. It is reality. That is what we are going to be basing the definition of what spam is and related definitions of particular legalities when it comes to this email stuff. So you can explore what this spam thing is in reality, not just some overly hyped up, oh, I read it somewhere. Like, listen, no, this is how it is. Directly from the FTC themselves. This is their definition of spam. Okay. Point number one, don't use false or misleading header information. And this is very quick. We'll get into the exact specifics on what a header is. We'll get into the exact exploration, how to export and what the information in a header actually means. But for the point of this call, for you to easily understand what I'm talking about when I say header information, think of it as your from, your to, your reply to, and routing information. This kind of stuff when you click on the to me. That information in the box right here, that is a briefly simplistic summarization of your header. And by manipulating that, so you would say it's from Shark Ninja, maybe in fact be from Shark and like Ninja, but with like an extra I there. You know, it's called spoofing, you know, faking it type stuff. That's by definition false and misleading, or misleading in the sense of I think spoofing in another context of like making an email look like PayPal to get an action coming from. That's what I'm talking about. And that's like an explored, downloaded header. But don't let that scare you. We'll get into what all of that means in the coming calls. But I'm telling you right now, it's very easy to get your head around when you understand what the terminologies mean. Okay, you're going to realize you're going to look like a bloody assassin when you know this kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, after I did my notes, bit of a rant here, but after I completed my notes on that call, the email security stuff and the email terminologies, you could probably get a pretty good career as a consultant in email after just that one call. In order, like, imagine how much money you could get by selling, like, I can guarantee inboxing for your emails or your money back. There you go. Another little kudo bonus by coming on through this type of stuff. But that's what a header explored is. So that's a simple summary version. That's the full version. Okay, next point. Don't use deceptive subject lines. The subject line must accurately reflect the content of the message. That is very, very clearly obvious of what that entails. So you can't say, help, I need money, or mom, help me, and then it's talking about a phishing offer or some kind of crap. That is a big no-no. And anything that's wildly out there that makes you think and feel that's just totally wrong, don't do it, because it is wrong. You know, they do give you a lot of leeway of a lot of things, but at the same time, guys, don't Don't kick a gorilla in the balls just because it's sleeping right now. Don't take the piss. Next point. Identify the message immediately as an advertisement. You must disclose clearly and conspicuously, big word, I'm stupid, that your message is an advertisement. It's that simple. They do give you a lot of leeway in this. But like for instance, there's another advertorial FTC affiliate article that we'll get to at a certain point that talks about advertorials and like the you need to clearly and accurately and boldly identify that this is an affiliate paid marketing medium message item. In our cold emails, as long as we identify this as an advertisement clearly, we have ticked that box. We are fine. In the eyes of the Federal Trade Commission of the United States of America, we are fine. Let's keep moving. We need to tell the recipients where you're located. Now, this could be a couple of things: your physical address, a physical post office box, a post box inside a post office, or a private mailbox. Okay, but the point is that there is a legit, real mailing address connected to the entity that has sent me this email. If you do not do that, you are in breach of spam, canned spam, and so on and so forth across the board. It's that simple, guys. Tell the recipients how to opt out of receiving future email from you. You have to tell them how to do it. And you can't spoof the link to be like, click here to opt out, and it actually goes to another offer, and then they can't back out because the back button's disappeared. You know, you can't do that. You're going to get screwed if you do that. Period. Done and dusted. Here's a thing what you can do, which is legal, is give a return email address. If you don't want to add a link to click here, if you don't want to use any email service providers or one of those shared SMTP, service active campaign, all that type of crap to have their like thing there, you could give them an email, contact this email and say unsubscribe, and we will unsubscribe you. You could do that. Or you could have a link that goes to a singular page that requests nothing but an email address from them to notify you of their request to unsubscribe them and to not receive any more further communication from you henceforth. Done. That's it. It's that simple. And moving into the next point, which is connected to that, we have to honor those opt-out requests promptly. We've got to process opt-out requests within 30 days. We've got to remove somebody within 10 days, and we can't charge a fee. It's pretty obvious. We can't require any more information other than their raw email address, like their name, address, and all that kind of crap in order to identify. You can't bullshit it. Like I said, you can't have them to request you can't let them to do anything other than to send a singular email or visiting a singular page on the sole condition is this is the task they must do to remove themselves to honor that request. Okay. So on these websites where you see, give me an unsubscribe reason, lists or reasons, all this other stuff why you want to unsubscribe. If that is mandatory, like they can't advance, that's in breach of canned spam and by the definition spam. Some major email service providers still do that, which is insane, absolutely insane. And of course, once a request has been made, that's it, done. They're dead. They may as well, they're gone. Okay, you can't even keep that information on your systems. Get rid of it. Oh, it's okay, John, I'll put it in an Excel sheet and use it as like an exclusionary rule to make some custom audience. No. If you want to be 100% clear, protected, and confident on that trial stand, if you ever get to that situation, you could say, yes, Your Honor, I followed them all to the rules of the law right then and there. I'm confident in it. Like I said, ignorance will not save you. Last one, monitoring what others are doing on your behalf. Like I said about ignorance, you cannot contract or pay a third party and thus remove yourself from your legal responsibilities. You can't, ignorance is not grounds for amnesty. you can't do that. So that's why, say you have MailChimp or something like that, that they will come down on you so hard if you're a breach of spam, or you start pissing around and doing certain things, because not only will you get fined $50,000 per email of breach, but they will also. And you can not only get a federal case brought against you, but you'll get a business claims case brought against you from MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or whatnot, because you can guarantee they're going to reclaim their costs from you. That's simple. Their policies and stuff are worded in such a way to ensure that. So there you go, guys. There's the definition of spam right there. If you want to vouch and check that, by all means, there's the link top left. Everything that we do henceforth and explore in accordance with the Federal Trade Commission's definition that's right there, word for word. I think the only thing that I have done is change certain words to red and bold them. That's pretty much it. Check for yourself if you are angst about all of that. So that's all we got to do. We just got to follow that. And by definition of following that, we are, by this definition, not spam. Period. Done, dusted. By their own definition. That's why I'm not in jail, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. Other notable items. This stuff's pretty obvious, like no malicious browser extensions, adware, cookie stuffing, trademark infringement, blah, 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 spam texting, compensation disclosures. You have to do that. If you're pushing an affiliate link out there, you have to say, this is an affiliate link. I will earn money from your click or from your purchase as a result of clicking this. You can't stuff like 20 different like affiliate cookies in a singular link on your offer or in your email link. So that, say, for instance, you have your core affiliate offer in the email, and you also have an Amazon affiliate referral link there as well. You can't do that unless it's going to the singular source and you've told them about it. That's known as cookie stuffing. Adware is the kind of stuff that I was speaking about before. Actually, no, that's kind of like, I'm sure you've seen it, like you download a program and it says, would you also like to download this security software or from our partner and all stuff like that. Well, back in the day, there used to be stuff that would push that really hard, really, really hard, to the point of where affiliate networks kind of like rounded everybody up, and affiliates would call out people that were doing that. And now that's very, very bad. You don't do that. If you do that, you will never work in the affiliate space again, essentially. And we spoke about the malicious browser extensions. Now, by malicious, that's really, really aggressive browser extensions, and also extensions that are infringing upon other brand entities, such as, say, something that's pretending to be like a Dropbox extension when it is in fact not officially licensed Dropbox property, and it's just like directing you to certain shit or running miners on your system or whatnot. It's all obvious stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So from all of this as well, this is what is inferred when networks ask you certain questions when you're asking to apply to them. When they ask you your choice of traffic source, like where that traffic source originated, the source of that traffic, blah, blah, blah. So by understanding the law and the environment, you're able to indirectly create a story or your source of traffic or everything in relation to all of this, and get accepted 100% of the time in all of these networks. Because at this point, you've got a grasp of the law that's relevant to you. You understand what is illegal. So therefore, you can very accurately and quickly say, we don't do adware, we don't do extensions, we only do this, we only do that. Here's the link to the latest article that was released 2 weeks ago. Blah, 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 blah. You've got a reputable business. They can check it. It's got active social media accounts. It's got all this other crap. It's all there. That's how you get accepted. No problem. Done and dusted. That's it. That's how you get in there. Okay, we all good? Yeah, easy peasy. So that's why I spoke about all this kind of stuff. So now we can actually get to the content. Who's ready, eh? 2 hours in, and now we're getting to the actual fucking strategies. I tell you what I need to do actually. I need to go away about 30 seconds. I need to have a little whittle, and I'll let you guys come back and I'll ask questions. I'll answer some questions and stuff on WhatsApp. Just give me 30 seconds. Sam will try and talk to you guys as best as he can. Sam doesn't know anything about affiliate, by the way, so bear with him. Back one moment. To take a second.
Anyone have any questions so far? Just want to kind of air them out. Oh, I know you're just so overwhelmed by the sheer girth of the content.
Will Jordan be getting more into the, I assume he is, the more into the business entity side of it and best practices for that?
It's more my area. I suppose we could go through that as and where. I mean, as an overarching subject, it's complicated, I suppose. My general recommendation, because are you States or Canada?
Yeah, I'm in the United States.
Right. So your standard entity will probably be just an LLC. Fairly standard to set up. I think it's about $200 just for a simple setup. If you wanted speed, then you could probably run as a sole proprietor, but then you don't get the limited liability aspect. So I guess it's kind of weighing those up. Obviously, you'll kind of want that in place. But if you're so keen on starting, then it might be worth considering. I would recommend the LLC then for anyone who's in the US. If you're in Europe, then just the standards. I think there are a few people who are in the UK as well as Europe. So just your standard kind of limited company. But yeah, it doesn't really need to be anything particularly fancy. Simple incorporation. I don't even think you need articles of incorporation if it's just one person. Although obviously it's good to kind of have in place. Really the most important thing with the business is going to be the bank account. So obviously you'll want somewhere for the money to go. So ideally get that set up as soon as is possible. 'Cause a lot of the time that can take, I know very much in the past it was like a month minimum, especially with the kind of big five banks. But I think with the rise of kind of more startup banks, you could probably get one knocked out within a week or so. So that's probably the most important thing alongside the entity. And then obviously any intermediary service you'll require, like PayPal or Stripe.
Got it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm back now, by the way.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, no one care. They just want to rate my voice even more.
Sure, go for it. Give the people what they want.
Oh, Jesus wept. Righto. Okay, let's check some things. Oh Christ, still got 26 people in here. I wonder how many of those are bots. Speaking of all this crap. Okay, all right, you guys clearly don't have a sense of humor. Tough. This is what it is. Okay. So, right now, this is where we are. This is you. You understand what affiliate stuff is. You understand what it's in the mind of the, the affiliate assassin, superhero, whatever. You understand all of the prerequisites and the things you're going to be bringing to the table in order to start this with the highest probability of success, really, with the badge of what, being legally compliant actually is. So now you're at the starting point. Now you can see this, and instead of squirming and crying, you can fucking like scream and come at me and like, you know what? That's it. I know this stuff. I mean, careful not to like swear and stuff, by the way. But yeah, you got painted abs now, and you're ready to go. You're ready to like knock some stuff out. Okay, you ready? You ready to do it? Like, this is where I would normally like start calling people out on the stuff, like unmuting people manually and being like, yeah, do you get that, Alan? Do you get that, Simon? To the people watching this recording, and it's like, yeah, this is in fact a real legit recording, and there is people here that are exploring and watching all this kind of crap. But all in all, that's the goal right now. That's where you actually are. So step one, here's the methodology in which that we're going to be following. Now you have a fundamental, brief at the most, or comprehensive at the least, and then to the comprehensive at the most, understanding of what this affiliate stuff is. So first things first, step one, product offer development. This is the stuff that we're going to be talking about now prior to, developing campaigns that we need to cover, to either save time now or to save time later, by developing a couple of these assets, or at least discussing them right here now, so you can, understand how this will in fact relate to our goals of this CPA type thing. So point number one, first things first, we're going to need to explore available offers via networks and to begin to compile potential offers into what's known in my own space, in my businesses, as an offer development sheet. And you're thinking to yourself right now, Jordan wants an offer development sheet. An offer development sheet is just that, essentially. It's just like a piece of paper, it's physically, or something in an Excel sheet, whatever it is, however you want to look at it, is just basically a breakdown of what an offer is that you've identified. The product name, the network that you found it on, the type of offer, the payout, the status, where it currently is along your thing that we'll get to. Is it an idea still? Is it proven? Is it available? We've got a description. When was it last used? And a campaign. When was it last used for a particular date? Pretty simple stuff, as a matter of fact. So over the period of time, as we were exploring, we're developing and putting these offers together, and we found an offer here, we found an offer there, that looks good, that looks good, that looks good. We're building them all out, and so we've got quite a few of these sheets, and then all of those sheets sits in what's known as an offer catalog database. It's kind of the home of where all of your offer development sheets are going to be existing. And this is going to be the single one-stop shop where you're going to go to see all of your offers that are developing, the status of those offers, the niches, the marketplaces, and so on and so forth. What is in fact an offer catalog database? It's whatever you actually want. Like I said, it could be a bunch of paper, it could be a bunch of files, it could be on software, it could be an Excel sheet, it could be all particular things. Like, for instance, here's one that I have set up in Basecamp. I love Basecamp for this. It's phenomenal. It's totally versatile and amazing for a lot of things. But for instance, this is how one offer category could particularly look like, as we said. So the market, the submarkets, the status. So the market, health; submarket, weight loss; the status. So here are the offers that I've developed and found that are in the idea. So maybe offers that I've found today. These are the offers that are now testing. So FIT-T, there's the details around the FIT-T offer. The proven, available, in use, retired, for instance. This is what I've been talking about, the super affiliate. Everything's all together, everything's developing, everything's in a logical space, because who's to say that you are doing all of this? If an individual comes into your organization, they're going to need to be able to see and very quickly have a grasp of everything that's going on. This is the difference between those that are making money in this space and those that are just selling courses, all other kind of crap. And finally, you have what's known as the offer development Kanban. Most people don't actually know what a Kanban is, but a Kanban is essentially like Trello. It's all that it is. And we're going to be developing and positioning these product development sheets along the appropriate level of status. And each of those statuses is going to have conditions of promoting and demoting. As they move across this journey, they're going to be incrementally added, adapted, status is going to be improved, or they're going to be deleted all the way through. But this is how an effective super affiliate is able to organize offers consistently in relation to third parties or additional staff or third party systems that are going to come into play and help you to do all of this particular stuff. Okay, that makes sense. You should understand that. Most people, I've never seen people talk about this in the industry. Which is kind of like makes me like scratch my head about who's actually legit and who does this stuff. This is just how I do it. I don't know who else kind of like does it this way, but this is just how I've developed the system on to organize all of this stuff efficiently and effectively at its most basic, rudimentary, core level when it comes to product offer development. Okay, easy peasy stuff to get your head around. And there's nobody here that should have any massive questions relating to this stuff. And yes, there is going to be resources provided that like explain this like in more detail. Okay, so no need to like, John, can we see an offer development? Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll send it to you. Point number 2, after we have now explored and developed our potential offers into offer development sheets, after exploring these networks and like piecing together things, we need to begin to draft a visual campaign. Remember what I said at the very beginning? Now this is all making sense because you should be able to see from a 30,000 foot perspective of what is the mind of what an affiliate marketer does, the successful guys at the very least. Okay, they don't just spontaneously find one offer and just like, you know what, I'm going to run that on Facebook ads. I'm going to like make a cloak and do something. Like, that's all crap. That's not how you develop and establish a consistent long-term business. It just doesn't work like that. Anyway, bit of a rant. So you've done your exploration. You've gone down Max Bounty, Commission Junction, whatever it is that you're doing, and you've found all these different offers and different marketplaces at different stages and whatnot. And now we're beginning to kind of like visually craft ideas on how we can group this kind of stuff together. So first things first, we've seen like, okay, I've got an idea for health. Let's group together the health related offers right now. Okay. Very simple. This is all that we've done. We've got a bunch of sheets. Remember, you don't need to be the one doing this, for instance. You could have a set of criteria you can get a third party to do for you. New offers are coming and leaving different networks all the time. So you can have a third party for each network in existence, if you so want, that just keeps feeding your offer development database, all of this stuff, and your Kanban's constantly filling up, and you're able to creatively sit back and be a real business owner and creatively plan strategy, where you're moving in this business, or in this organization, and what you're doing here. Okay, so let's use health, for instance. First things first, you've grouped the health together, and then you moved it into what I call offer mapping. Once you're developing these offers, a lot of things going in your mind. This is where experience and creativity begin to take over. And this is where the difficulty of me explaining this comes into play. I want you to begin to visualize and explore and think around your calendar prerequisites. What are your goals right now? What do you currently have? What are your current disadvantages? What's coming around the corner? Are you even interested in health? Like, is this something you'll be actually fascinated with? What's the longevity of this? Is it a trendy type thing? Is it like a faddy type thing? Like, what is this going to last? Is this going to be accurate within the next 2 weeks or whatnot, and so on and so forth? Okay, and also this is where the creative thinking thing comes back into play, because all of this offer mapping type stuff is this plain piece of paper. It can be as simple or as complicated as you so desire. And by design, it will be the former or the latter, never in between. And that is irrespective of you as an individual, as a business owner, or as a marketer in this particular respected field. There is no right way, there is no wrong way. Either way, this is the methodology that I've applied and gone through consistently for the last several years now, because I'm actually getting quite old. This is kind of what I've been doing. That's how I did it. It's my campaign, the brief draft on how I do it. So that's what I think about when I'm just thinking. I'm looking at offers, I'm looking at my databases, I'm looking about what's currently there. I'm seeing it from a 30,000 foot perspective, and I'm beginning to like draw lines between, okay, that offer is a cheap offer. It's a simple, low barrier to entry. I understand the higher the price of the offer, the lower the conversion. I understand, okay, that offer is developed more efficiently and nice. It's got a better brand association and clinginess than this one. All these things are going around your mind when you're developing this, when you're thinking about it. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's just thinking, vomiting it together. And this is why I love long form conversation, because how on earth would you explain this in an effective way to 30 plus people to do this without conversation and talking about it? This is how I'm going to be able to do it. So after you've just kind of visually like put some things together, you've got some health offers, you've got this one, you've got that one, I've got an expensive front one, I've got a cheaper back one, I got a continuity, I've got some email stuff, I've got this, I really like fitness. You put it together. Okay. Next things first, we're going to move those kind of word fart, airy, like note scribble type things into a potential viable campaign. Here's a couple of bits of information that will help you to move a concept of collections of foggy ideas and potential directions into a solid campaign path. Now, I've grouped what's very difficult to perceive all at once, but into neat little categories, which I call campaign types. It's very simple stuff. They all self-explanatory, as a matter of fact. Activation, you can kind of guess what an activation campaign is, a monetization campaign, a segmentation campaign, a wildcard campaign. Segmentation campaign is, as you would imagine, it would be a period of time with a series of actions within that period of time that would organize those individuals that I contact into set categories based upon action, behavior, time spent, time not spent, time on page, all these little tiny little variables. But the variables that I would try and push forward would be what's important to me and my current goals that I highlighted prior to beginning this. And wildcard campaign is just that. It's kind of like everything else very quickly for the purposes of me explaining it into this lecture here to talk about it. The down period. So it could be a period of time that you leave open every week to mitigate against unknown joint ventures appearing, or time for you want to spend some time with the kids next week, or you want to have at least 3 hours every day to be able to pick up your kids and spend time, things like that. But this is how we build a buffer and comfort zone within our calendars to live around. Okay. So from being able to, and these are just very few campaign types. Okay. Don't just think this is the be all end all. This is for the purpose of explaining viable campaigns right now. And what you do once you've got your head grasped around these potential campaigns, you then start thinking to yourself, okay, I'll put together an activation campaign first, let them know who I am, introduce myself, make that 100% cold introduction, and then move them into a monetization campaign straight away. You know what? Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good one. We're moving from a brain fart to a on paper plan. This is how we do it. These are the steps. We've done that now. Now, what's the next step? You need to develop and think about, and this is happening simultaneously with multiple other steps, but for the sake of a continuatum of what's happening here, we need to develop and create a persona, a brand, a character, an image, an appearance. So this is what we do at this point. Now, this is, I don't want to do say the bloody cliche of like a fucking client avatar and all of that crap. I hate it. It's just a word that's been dumbed down into every terminology or whatever you want to think of, but it's kind of like that, but it's not. For instance, we need to be able to pierce and perceive our marketplace from a 30,000 foot view, and then look at those qualities, angles, desires, fears, wants, ambitions, political beliefs, and all that type of crap, and then being able to infer the hero, the character that we want to be able to be, if I have the highest probability of success in the context of the campaigns we're going to be creating. And now that can be an individual or a brand. They are identical. They are identical. It's essentially the same thing. Me as an individual can be reflected via a brand. It's just that it's easier to create a person than it is to create a brand. Brands take a lot of money. It's really difficult. And there's a lot of I recommend that when we start this, you create a particular persona, unless your research, either secondary or primary, indicates that you need to, for performance reasons or conversion reasons, a brand would be more appropriate for you here now. A couple of little points about all of that I just mentioned it all, political alignment, devices, family environments, affiliations, clubs, hobbies, all that kind of crap. That's what we build it all out now. Once we've got that idea of a character in our mind with the activation campaign and the monetization campaign and the story and how it will be relevant to that person and the medium of which we're going to introduce ourselves to that person, the times, how we're going to do it all, the language we're going to use, the level, all that type of stuff. We now need to be able to think, again, laterally around angles. Like, how can we introduce ourselves to that person? I'm not just thinking directly about email. I'm thinking about just in period. How can we do it? What's going to be a good angle to jump in that? Now, remember, there is no right angle. There is no wrong angle. There's degrees and marginal levels of success based upon your own internal biases with no past data. So use that as a blanket of comfort when we're doing this and establishing this. Okay. A couple of things to help you establish a creative angle. you know, these are tools to help you to establish and develop primary research from what you're doing here. So I don't know, you can use these tools, you can use it to help you think of like headlines, subject lines, indirectly perceive and think and feel, appreciate that we as humans have multiple senses. We are more than just a credit card. We have stories, we have headaches, we have bills, we have all of these particular things. We're able to develop and think of strong angles and levels in order to push this person indirectly to perform actions that we want directly. Because, for instance, nobody ever does anything because we tell them to. The real winners in this game, the real artists, are those that can paint a picture and give the illusion of choices and have that person, without realizing, make all of the decisions that you want them to make. Ironically, for instance, the more you don't sell somebody in a situation, the more times that they want it. It's just how we are. It's just how it all works and turns out. We've got a whole call dedicated to this stuff, so I won't worry too much about it right now. Next, we move into project timelines and calendars. Very important stuff. We've, of course, got to plan it all out, right? We've got to see what's happening. We've got to do it all. Like I said, the mind of a super affiliate is an individual that's able to see beyond today. You need to be able to know what you're doing tomorrow, today. You need to know what you're going to be doing next week, today. Otherwise, you're just kind of like existing in front of a laptop for 6-7 hours every day, and you're not really moving anywhere. Why a lot of people tend to do that. They just exist within a never-ending, unchanging environment, and they don't really know what's happening or what it is they're doing because they don't have timelines. They don't have calendars. They don't like establish activities and durations of those activities and rewards and punishments for those activities. Here's the bare minimums: a 30-day to 1 year calendar. Best way to do that is just to create a 30-day calendar and just keep making them. That's it. All the particular types of calendars you're going to have, such as for joint ventures, networks, like times, events, such as things like things for your teams, maybe people that are going on holiday, people that are coming back from holiday, birthdays, those types of things, you know, for the unquantifiable motivational factors that fuel the oil, the cogs of your war machine that is this business. Because as an individual, as a business owner, it will never, hopefully, just be you. Hopefully you're going to be able to be an individual that can share the results and assets that you're going to be creating. Like I said, right at the beginning, with people around you, get them involved, educate them, establish them as authorities in their own right. These all come into play here. You know, you can have as many calendars as you want or as few as you particularly need, but I barely recommend that you get the ones on the left, bare minimum. And you just, simple as that. I'm going to have a simple activation campaign from Sunday to Saturday, the first week. And I'm going to move straight into a monetization campaign, a 4 or 5 day long monetization campaign. Then I'm going to have a period of downtime, so I'm not like assaulting them. And then I'm going to go through some indirect segmentations by monitoring and analyzing that data. I'm going to get Jeff to do that because he's really good at looking at our activity data and then segmenting them all manually and using the software. And then I'm just going to purge for the next 2 weeks. Everybody doesn't engage. Like, that was just something I made off the top of my head to kind of give you an idea of how simplistic and easy it is to establish a campaign calendar when it comes to this affiliate stuff. I don't want anybody just finding one offer, thinking that they're going to get an email blaster and just blast that offer like 2 hours from now and just like, okay, well, this happened and then I'm just going to do, like, are you in it to win or are you in it to just like show up? This is the difference here. Now, maybe I kind of like shot myself in the foot by saying that, but I think that it's probably a shot that most people needed to see as a reality. There is no shortcuts here. There's no simplistic fucking way to just throw yourself at one thing. And otherwise we would all be bloody millionaires. Like, why the hell would I even offer this stuff if it was that easy? Right? I just get like a million bloody uni students to do it and pay them in pot noodles. It's that simple, but it's difficult in its application, yet simple in its perception. That's it. That's all that it is. Now we've established our calendars. We need to move into goals. Like, we need to be able to definitively outline what it is that we want and accurately reverse engineer from that destination that we want to where we are now, to then foresee a series of activities along a path that we need to sequentially follow in order to consistently, effectively, and theoretically have the highest probability of getting to that goal. How do we do that? How do we do it all? Well, the first things first, we need a goal. But the most important thing here is to have a realistic, reasonable goal that's aligned with your current resources that you currently have. I have another resource here I'm going to be giving to you that's going to help you to quantify difficult to perceive qualitative activities, and we're going to quantitate them, and so that we can very quickly outline the series of things that we're going to need to do. Sam's going to give you something like that. It wouldn't be difficult. But here are a couple of ideas of particular goals that we're going to be creating. The obvious ones, revenue goals, how much every campaign we would like to make, the duration of creating a campaign, how much a campaign needs to make over a period of time, how much money an angle needs to make, marketplaces, revenue targets per traffic sources, optimization goals, like what's our total click KPI, what's the margin of error we're willing to play around with, what's defined as a bad total clicks number over a significantly period of time that we've identified, sales and all that kind of crap. Miscellaneous goals, like for instance, I want to have at least 5 campaigns every month. I want to be in at least 1 new campaign every month. I want to be at this destination by this date. I want to be able to send 100 million emails a month. It's just stuff like that. You can have as many goals and whatever that you particularly want, and there's no right or wrong answer here. The only thing I would bring to your attention is the downsides of oversaturation of yourself in relation to non-monetary generating activities. It is nice to know that you've got a space on your wall for every 1,000 emails that you send successfully, but is that whatever. It may look cool, like a story type. I started at 1,000, then it's at 10,000, and it's at 100,000. That's pretty cool. I do the same thing like that, but it doesn't do anything other than just effectively waste time and take up wall space. There's a clear line between activities that make you money, save you money, or increase your time, reduce your time on activities, and then there's the sexy miscellaneous type stuff. Front-end traffic strategy. We've got to have an idea, an understanding on what it is on the front end that we're going to do in order to let people know that certain things exist. QED, if you're in this email CPA mastery program, you probably think that's going to be email. But what's the process of that? We need to understand the process in order to be able to think. Again, I keep saying I'm going to have a macro that says, laterally think around creative campaign strategy. I will never tell anybody to specifically do this, and this, because that's a disservice to you, and it's like just giving you a fish. I'd rather teach you these other particular things as well. So a front-end traffic strategy, like I said, accumulating and bringing together predetermined promotional modules, and then we're thinking of those, okay, what's the most creative way and the most efficient way in relation to my goals, my timelines, my disadvantages, to organize these things in such a way as I'm going to have the highest probability of success of meeting my determined goals. So first things first, it could be I'm going to do a keyword harvest on certain niche specific websites to get relevant emails that are recently active. And I'm going to move into data scrubbing and validation of those emails to ensure that it's in fact a legit email. Servers exist, they're pinging, they're upright, they're not spam traps, they're not honeypots, all this other kind of crap. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to move into an activation campaign. Then I'm going to move into a monetization campaign, right? That simple. Absolutely that simple. Okay. Super simple example, just to kind of convey the point. You can have 1,000,001 different predetermined promotional campaigns or whatever, but I modulate sometimes difficult to perceive concepts into modules to help me focus solely on strategy and not get wound down in the technicalities of it all. And it also helps with systemization and outsourcing by modulating. Okay, so that's a very, very simple breakdown as an idea of a front-end strategy. And then we got to also consider and think about our back-end strategy. Notice I'm still talking about traffic. For instance, we've modulated the modules of traffic now. So we've got our weighted email harvesting, data scrubbing, activation, monetization. How about we do all of that, but after activation, we've got a segmentation campaign, and then we move into monetization. For instance, we're segmenting our most active, our most highest open rates, our highest inboxing rates, and we're removing our highest spam complaints, all that type of stuff immediately. Or we run some kind of feedback loop right there so we can indicate who's actually wanting this stuff before we move them into a monetization campaign, right? And we could go a couple of steps beyond that in the next modulated campaign, such as after running the monetization campaign, we then go through a purging campaign. We just burn off those that just didn't engage, because what use are those? They don't mean anything to us. And then, of course, after burning those people out, they don't exist anymore now. We need to rebuild our social capital in the eyes of this list, right? Because we can't just go monetization, because that's not long-term applicable. We're not going to get anywhere with long-term with all of that. And we're not just here to burn and churn. We're here to establish a legitimate affiliate-based media company. That's what we want to do. That's what our business is going to be. That sense that we started at that, for that idea. We're not in here for a quick buck to just, scrape a million emails and then spam a million emails. We're in it for the long term, right? And then after, of course, building that social capital through that campaign, we then run through, a monetization campaign. Now we've rebuilt that trust and free via content and the other elements. And it doesn't stop there. We could creatively think about off-platform schematics of doing all of this. Now, this is probably quite difficult to get your head around, but like straight after our most basic modulated promotional campaign, we then move that vetted data list and we bring it to Facebook. We create a custom audience in Facebook, and then we begin running that Facebook into, retargeting traffic while simultaneously running an activation campaign. They go through a funnel and they immediately are offered a monetizational element, another offer, an upsell sequence, or whatever it is, simultaneously whilst receiving the same campaign or a different campaign via on different activities on the email sequence in blue right there in the monetization. Actions, purchases, non-purchases, then moved into a database and then put into a custom audience in Google to be advertised on the Google Display Network or YouTube. Same procedure. They then go through another funnel. In one way, they go through a monetization funnel, leveraging email via a shared SMTP email service provider that is active campaign, while simultaneously going into a segmentation campaign to be stored at later use for our next product promotion coming up next month. We want to be able to see who's doing what actions, vet those actions into accordance of monetary value to us in relation to cost, and then store those things. We're slowly moving into more in-depth complexity, but the core of this is still within basic creative thinking of understanding the basics, yes, but then we're creatively, once you understand a building block, we can then move around and you can make an uncalculable amount of types of promotional campaigns. This is the difference here. There is no one recipe. I just need to help you compute and digest that giant word map of vomit at the beginning of the stuff everywhere. And then, like I said, help you with those shortcut points to skip most of the difficult comprehension type crap. And I'm doing that via the modulation and the simplicity of this methodology system right here. And that's as simple of a core methodology as you will ever see out of my mouth, but yet perceivably, you could probably say that this has been, in fact, the only real methodology that's made sense in context of affiliate marketing, or maybe even marketing in general, that you've ever seen in this fucking scammy type space that people keep running people down with. But that doesn't stop there, because I did another boo-boo. I have intentionally left out steps because there's a deep water warning, because it kind of gets hard after this point now. Got to get your data hats on, your particulars, because as you develop and explore, of course, the level of comprehension and difficulty, of course, naturally rises. You get better at something, you need to challenge yourself better, and it gets difficulter because you need to scale, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But that's the basic fundamentals right there, what we're going to be exploring and doing. But I just wanted to let you know there are other things that I've left out for your own safety, or maybe not. This is where your own interpretation and experience comes in. Here are other things that I've left out. Step 2, I intentionally left out a detailed offer evaluation process because not every offer is the same, because we need to go and vet and qualify the legitness of an offer, the spam of that offer, the reputation and authority of the owners of those offers, the assets that they're using to advertise those platforms, all those particular things right then and there. Market viability assessments, that's just basic like market assessment, I guess, processes. Develop the understanding the trends in this marketplace, the longevity of this marketplace. Is this marketplace growing? Is it stagnant? Is it declining? What's the difficulty and competitiveness in this marketplace? How much realistically do I need to budget to get a good oomph within this marketplace? And is that going to be enough to effectively build on to my my own systems and my own goals? And point number 6, creatively character personas. Like I said, it's going to be covered later. Establishing creative angles. I didn't talk about secondary research practices, such as, say, for instance, after a competitive analysis of top players in particular fields and markets, we can basically rip off, or at least use as a point of reference in our own creative thinking of what they're currently exploring and doing, and to create testing methodologies from that to test them for ourselves. I didn't talk about that because that's when we have to use those competitive tools that can be quite pricey and not required. But it's always good to have like more sets of data to have establish more so perceivably accurate decisions that we'll be moving forward as strategic thinkers. Point number 10, front-end traffic strategy. I'm going to be heavily covering that in a later call, the email stuff and how do we actually establish promotions, sending emails, the context of those emails, all that type of crap. And then 12, 13, 14, tracking systems, didn't touch on. Those are going to be covered at a later point, I think. But a lot of those is inferred specifically when we get to the appropriate points in the future calls, like link building and all that kind of crap. Systemization and automations, that's going to be in the last call, scaling. And the last one, scaling practices, the last call. The last call is going to be the second call, email systems and architecture, is going to be a big call. And the last call is going to be like that last call on how to effectively inbox 100% of the time, and the methodologies that I've been using that you can basically make a business around in your own right, is the last call. And that one's that I'm very, very excited to jump into that one because I can really stretch out and like talk the talk, because at that point you'll already know a lot of the terminologies and technicalities around email. You'll understand SMTPs. You'll understand how an email is actually sent. You'll understand real definitions of what certain actions actually are with an email. You'll understand the difference between dedicated and shared. You'll understand the differences between what a mail sending unit agent is in relation to your IP, or in relation to a third-party SMTP server. There are loads of things that you'll be able to, because you probably don't know what those are now, but next call, you'll know what they are. And then in the last call, we'll be able to optimize. Okay, so you now understand how to pull headers. You can pull, you can check the MX, all that kind of score, the reputations, all this type of things. And you can pull and deduce with my testing methodologies what elements of an email in certain domains and certain IPs and certain third-party filtering systems that are dedicated by the IP and domain that you're sending on. We can determine all those particular things and get an amazing series of emails that always inbox. God, I'm excited for that one. And I mean, we've spoken about the scraping software, the email hosting software at all. But of course, that's call free. But yeah, really, really crazy, exciting stuff that I'm getting kind of hyped for. But just wanted to let you know that there is more to talk about. There is more of a space here to kind of stretch out, not just like being like stuck to this. I'm confident in this methodology and this framework to helping you consistently. But I just wanted to let you know that there is other things, but as you develop, as you build your understanding on certain functions within this space, we don't run before we can crawl. I'm going to tiptoe you in, understanding that this is just the first call. We've got God knows how many Q&A things and this other crap coming through, as well as the actual lecture calls. So don't worry. You're going to do fine. You're going to do okay. I'm pretty confident in that. I think you're going to do just right. So there's that. Certain actions now. I'm going to be giving you a sheet. It's going to have a series of particular things I'm going to advise you to do. It's going to be inferred greatly from the context that you've been speaking about on this call, talking about these particular things, building a business, project entity, what certain affiliate terms mean, and providing you with all of that, exploring like product offer, development sheets, and all that kind of crap. I'm gonna give it to all you guys. You're gonna be able to see it all firsthand, like the activity tracking sheets and the goal establishment type stuff. And if your goal is to make $1,000 a month, quantitatively, how many emails does that equate that you need to send in relation to industry determined variables of inboxing, open rates, conversion rates, and certain industry specifics? A lot of those things are going to be given to you and helping you out. But before you get to any more questions, there's a couple of rules of thumb that I want to get to that may already answer a couple of questions that you have. Think simple. It's my biggest tip I can give to you. Think simple. Don't, usually most of the times as you heard it, the most simple way to solve a problem, the most simplest way that, the solution for a problem is usually the solution. Thinking laterally around a problem, that's going to be a very, very valuable skill for you. Like how many of you can describe to me a series of keywords that you can type into Google that will tell Google to find me not businesses that provide a service, but consumers looking for said service? It's very difficult to think like that, but I ironically did it very quickly in the relation to dog clubs, right? A set of a location of people that are interested and tick certain boxes of a consumer that I have positioned in my research and data to be a viable, strong lead to email with the strategies henceforth. But if I just typed in dog food or something like that, I'd get 1 million offers on dog food by businesses. I don't want to scrape those businesses. I want to scrape consumers, right? That only comes thinking laterally around a problem. I'll help you with all of that. Think over time as well. Nothing really comes quickly. Nothing comes overnight. Got to, certain people are more creative than others. Some people have like decades of experience. Some people have just discovered this today. Everyone's journey starts at a different point, but ultimately all our goals are the same. We all want to make something. We all want to go somewhere. We all want to improve something about ourselves. And we've all determined that the way to do that is to make more money. And, this is the project that we're going to see how much that can make. Now, the parsimonious path to success. Parsimonious basically means you're a cheap shit. Don't buy it, rent it, don't rent it, borrow it, don't borrow it, steal it. Competitive tools, softwares, resources, all those types of things. There are always cheaper alternatives out there that do the exact same thing. You're in marketing. You all know that branding is just that, branding. It's 1,000,001 different people selling the exact same things and for 1,000,001 different prices. I know the other stuff now. So at least one promo campaign a week, one sale offer per month. Like that's like a sale, like a discount campaign or whatnot. Have it develop at least one minor monetization campaign and one major, meaning like in your monetization promo modular campaign, it would be simply like, 2 emails talking around pain problem, and then here's the solution. And a major monetization campaign could go through more of a exploration and the indirect natures of the solution to this problem. Maybe building more of a story. You're contacting them on multiple platforms, not necessarily just email. You're leveraging multiple pain points, multiple pleasure points. You're referencing different elements from the creative matrix that we discussed. Add at least 1 new offer/product to the offer development Kanban per day. Update your products every day on that. So you should be having a constant flow of items moving across. It takes 5 minutes. Like I said, just build it into your habits, your everyday points. Develop at least 1 new campaign every month. It's that simple. It's easy peasy. You don't need to really do more than that. Maybe your objective is only $500 a month. Maybe 1 campaign is enough for that, and therefore that's all that you need. But I'm just saying, if you want to scale, you want to grow, that's the rate at which that you can do bare minimum, and have at least the next 30 days mapped. You're not going to do that straight away, though. You're not going to be able to establish and think along those lines, but just at least appreciate and see the need to forward planning. Think about these things. How long is it going to take you to develop a promotional campaign? None of you know how long it's going to take to scrape or to vet these things, or to build either your own independent SMTP server, or to integrate a third party into your own mail sending units, delivery units, or you wanting to connect your own account to an aged Google suite like SMTP. So keep that in mind. But you should always have a calendar. You should always have a plan. You should always project management. If failure to plan is a failure to fail and fail, it's bad. Don't do it. It's really bad. Just wasting your time. That should body make sense. Plan. So we should just kind of like remodel that to just be like, plan. Plan, guys. At least having 2 days planned is better than having no days planned. Right? At least for now, like your time is planned in accordance with me and the other people in this going through this live right now. Like you've kind of got a schedule thrusted upon you. But schedules are good. Trust me. Business isn't supposed to be fun. A business's purpose is to generate an output that you can spend to make fun. That's it. That's what it does. All right. So here's what it is. Right. So it's a checkpoint here. Some questions as I repair my throat again, because I'm fucking dying here. So has anybody asked anything whilst I've been talking over the last, 25 minutes or so?
Seems pretty empty from the chat. They're probably just saving it for a moment like this.
You guys, when I talk to you about this as being an interactive experience, and how your real value is talking to the guy that you can just ask and do and get things from, it's probably a good idea if you do that. And you can just unmute your mic as well, and you can just like say it, talk to me. You don't need to.
I want to ask something, but
I
want to ask something, but nothing's coming out of my mouth right now. It's just mind blown kind of feels, so I'm just gonna mute myself again.
It's just gonna run away. It's just like, hey, notice me, Jordan, notice me.
What just happened?
Sweet, love it. Is this at least like helped you? Does this make sense to you guys?
Yeah, it makes sense. Like I've always wanted to do email marketing in this fashion, especially in the back-end side. Somebody just asked how much it would take for budget and tools and softwares to get everything running.
What's everything? What's your goal? What is it that you want to do? How fast do you want to get there? Where are you starting from? What do you currently have? These are open-ended questions with a undetermined outcome. There is no right or wrong answer here. Like
Yo,
the
Keith, mute your mic, man. You gotta ask this question.
I think I know he doesn't need to. I think I know where it was coming from. He wanted
Yeah.
I need $277 and I need $37 per month for these things. I can't give you that answer. That wouldn't work for you. And again, we're going down to the cookie cutter potential approach here, but there isn't any one cookie cutter system that would ever work in anything, because everyone's situation is different and unique. But if for the context of what I'm going to be talking about and using, let's use that.
Yeah.
You've got the software, the scraping thing. That's about $60. You'll never find anything to the degree of what this is cheaper. It's absurd. It's stupid. It's terrible. Like a one-time payment of that and you got it forever. Like it's crazy.
I like it.
It's pretty good. Like to the point I've even emailed the owner of it and been like, you are an idiot. Let me buy this from you and I'll turn it into a SaaS and I'll charge, I don't know, $200 a month for this. And, it was like, whatever. And didn't let me do anything with it. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Do whatever with it. It's your thing. But that's $60 there. And then you move into, say, data scrubbing. Incredibly open-ended question. Like there are different third-party sources out there of a million different price ranges, of a million different arguably perceptual same things that you can do to validate your data, or you could do it for free for yourself. Then you move into SMTP servers. Do we pay for our own, or do we build our own for free, or do we rent one from an ISP, or do we hire one from a third-party service and then make it that way? Again, it depends upon your other systems. Or about your mails. I think I always get these. You'll see in the next call the amount of 3-letter, 4-letter, 5-letter like acronyms when it comes to email. But the mail sending units, arguably easily perceived as like your email service provider, like the graphical user interface that a human uses to punch in messages and then press send. There are free and paid options of that with advantages and disadvantages of both. I'm going to be exploring and going through all of them, breaking them all down to a degree of trying not to make anybody fucking shoot them.
It sounds like a lot of fun because there's just so many options and directions and variations. It's just like, fuck. I don't know. This is just call one. I'm like, I can't really wait for the second or third call already. Like it's like, I just want to hear you talk. That's really where it's going at. It seems.
Oh, you did it.
Oh yeah, I'm confessing now.
Jordan.
Oh no, this guy.
Yeah. I missed the start of the call, but I wanted to ask about the Max Bounty stuff. Like they've been frigging me around a bit. No calls and no callbacks and stuff. So should I try with a different email maybe, or what are you thinking?
Right. Out of curiosity, do you know the name of your representative that is handling?
That Kate.
Yeah,
Kate
of course it
Ardito,
is.
whatever it is.
Of course, it's that Kate. She is a. When I was talking about plebs, and it's just like a thing that pops up on their own like customer relationship board, like new like inbox, new person, Damien Eddy is applied, blah blah blah, and it's like they just don't care. They don't give a damn. It's whatever, and that's what we're dealing with here, and that should give you confidence in the level of okay, this is the competition. This is what I'm bloody dealing with. They just don't. They're at a different. They have different goals, different ambitions, different things like that. They have different definitions of success. They're not as motivated, blah, blah, stuff. But that should inspire you and to give you more like fuel to be like, yeah, I'm going to bloody do this. Now, to answer your bloody question, what the hell do you do? I'll give you a phone number of a representative that should be able to help you out. He's great. He's fantastic. And all he will potentially do is to tell you to apply again. And he will handle it for you and take it all out there. But remember what I said about the no-nos in this space. You can directly infer from the no-nos on what to write when you apply and what you explore and what you talk about that makes them tick their boxes. And you're not lying. You're just being ethically conscious of what what they want, and then they've got that piece of paper stuck on a post-it note on their bloody screen. It's like, okay, this guy says he's only going to be using lists that he owns and reputable sources and all sort of kind of crap. I'm gonna do it that way, but I can't tell you exactly what to say, because I think that's the problem that most people have been getting, is that they've been sending word for word what I've been saying, and they've got like 17 applications that are saying the same thing.
Right.
So just be aware of that. So I'll give you a phone number, call him up. He's super supportive. He'll help you all out. He'll tell you exactly where your application is. He'll read the profile with you, and you'll see like what's going on. But don't tell him where you got the number. Say you got it from one of his affiliate representatives that's done good by him, and he wants to remain anonymous.
That's fine, mate. I was just worried with the, if I tried with the same email or a different email, they'd blacklist you or something. So I actually applied before you even sent out that script sort of stuff. So, anyway, all good. I'll give that a call and get that sorted.
Yeah, and failing that, you can always just join 1,000,001 other networks, and then just come back to this one 3 months time and do it again, and it'll be fine. It'll be whatever. There's a lot of ways to get into networks, which we will see very quickly in the next coming up calls, because that's when it gets. I don't want to say like what we're not going to do, but just to say that you could theoretically like use a VPN to do certain things and do certain other stuff theoretically to do certain whatever, but whatever, we're just going to be talking about it, that's all. So we'll be all right.
Sweet, man. Thank you.
So is there like a difference between like affiliate managers for Max Bounty?
Well, you tell me, is there a difference between people? Yeah, people are shitheads, like they can be, they're incompetent employee twerps that just don't know what they're doing, or know-it-alls. Like I said at the very beginning, it's what it is. That's people. That's what you get for dealing with people in this game. That's it. That's all that it is. Because I think Max Bounty is directly connected to a commission basis on the affiliates that they are managing, and of course it's in their best interest to be a good manager, because they're going to make more money. They get a cut of everything that you make, essentially, from the network. But some people just don't care. Just don't. Or they're making so much money that their motivations have lapsed, which happens as well. So, but it's not a problem. It isn't a problem. A problem is only a problem if you perceive it as a problem, and therefore you perceive it as a roadblock. So therefore you haven't broken down the series of problems that have perceived it as to be a roadblock just yet, and begin to incrementally solve those problems until it's no longer the P word anymore. It's done. It's dusted. It's solved. But do not worry. There is a giant list of networks out there that are all fantastic. Max Bounty is a speck of dust on the back of a flea, on the back of an ant, on the back of a pigeon being eaten by a lion that's running through the savannah in an ocean of like opportunity. It's nothing in the comparison of the bigger picture.
All right, thanks, man. The visuals.
Yeah, I should really drink when I do these calls. Does anybody else want to talk any particular questions on particular things? Brian, you unmuted yourself. Go ahead, guy.
I kind of asked this when you were going to the bathroom or whatever, but for the LLC, I'm over in the States, and I've set up a few in the past before, but for this particular thing that we're doing, would it be smart to use like a UPS mailbox for the address instead of our home physical address, or what are your thoughts on that?
There's, in the eyes of the law, there's no difference. So it's up to personal preference and the advantages that come from those personal preferences. Like it just like comes down to your address on an email, but most people just don't care. They don't. It's like it's whatever. But in the eyes of the law, it is okay to have a third party mailbox.
Yeah, I was just making sure.
You can verify it for yourself.
You can use a UPS box over here. It's actual physical street address instead of a PO.
Yeah, that's fine. But as long as it's backed by a real business with a real entity with a real structure around it, it wasn't just like some fly by night overnight like incorporation. They're not stupid. and no, you can never, one of the best rules of thumb, again, I should probably put this on, is just never assume you're smarter than anybody else and they already know what it is that you're thinking about in the sense of strategy and trying to fuck around. It's only when the data reveals the reality of that decision that you can make true assumptions. So, and that falls back into the logical justifications of everything that you do. You know, there are pros and cons of all of that directly and indirectly. So, just keep that in mind as well. But above all, it is fine to just, from the eyes of the law, like I can go back to the link if you want. You can just see it for yourself. As it's like a mailbox. Like that's fine. That's done and dusted.
Got it. Appreciate it.
Like a chain. I'm feeling so used right now. People just popping up. Okay, Simon, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Jordan, I've probably got about 1,000 questions, if I'm honest with you, but because there's such an overview, it's like a 20,000 foot kind of conceptual sort of session today, really, in terms of all the things that we're going to be doing strategy-wise. I probably had 100 questions just on the section where we started talking about the complexities of stacking the different offers and all that kind of thing. But I guess it's going to be you're going to kind of flesh that out and get into a sort of a paint by numbers or for dummies guide further in. So I think the only thing that would be really useful, and I mentioned this in the chat, is because I was trying to frantically take notes in Evernote and little here and there, and I'm sort of running out of time as you moved on to the next bit, would be to have the deck or the PowerPoint presentation, or for example, there's a bit with the website. So make sure you've got a TNC, make sure you've got a privacy, make sure you've got an SSL, make sure, like lists like that, somewhere we can just kind of go, okay, today I'm going to get this done. Tomorrow I'm going to get this done. The next day I'm going to get, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yep. I'll do you one better, Simon. I'll give you the recording.
Yeah, the recording's good, but it's quite hard to sort of trawl through a video, if you know what I mean. You got to kind of like stop here. Whereas if you've got the deck, you can go dum, 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 flip to the bit you need, cut and paste it, send it off to my guys, say, get this done, get that done.
See what I would normally do in those situations, but I can feel somebody crying in the universe right now as I'm about to say this, is that they not necessarily transcribe it, but it's just key logged, like 22 minutes, 17 seconds. I talk about this, and this. I'm not sure about giving the slide decks away because there's like particular things on it and whatnot, but I could. I don't really know how to do what would be better than just the recording and the mild inconvenience of skipping through it. But I guess I could, if I wanted to break down the categories and subcategories along the play scrub bar with, at this time I speak about this, at this time I speak about that, and then this and then that. But yeah, I could do, or I could just recreate the slides if you like and do it that way, give you another file. I'll see what I can do, but it shouldn't be a problem regardless, really, man.
Yeah, I mean, whichever way you want to go about it, just because we have covered a lot tonight. I mean, that's a lot of info to digest. So, I mean, either I'm like the dumbest one in the pack and I'm the only one with questions, or nobody else is speaking up. But there was a lot of stuff in there. And I was kind of like frantically typing Evernote at the same time, but I didn't get a chance to get it all down. But there was probably one section where you kind of got quite granular about offer structure, and you were talking about, okay, and then we're going to upload a list of Facebook, and then we're going to do some retargeting. And I was like, there's no way I've remembered all that or will know how to implement that. I need to sort of research each bit. So either like a cut down version of the deck without anything you don't want to put out there in that sense, or like just some bullet lists of like, okay, website, you need to do this, this, and this, that kind of thing, just so we can kind of get them checked off. Whichever way you want to go about it, I'm cool with, but just something that kind of makes it a little bit easier than trawling through the video and pushing pause and then writing everything out by hand laboriously instead of being able to cut and paste,
Yeah, that's where the Q&A stuff comes in as well, like additional opportunities for long form conversation to exist that are free with no barriers or gated structure, that we can just have a 25-minute conversation on these points, Simon, and then who wants to join that can join that, or whatever medium we're using to talk. It could be just a Facebook thread, or it could be another call, or it could be a video that I upload independently. For instance, here's some templates for website pages, here's the content, here's some logos and all that kind of crap, so you don't have to worry about all of that stuff. Here's how to make the domain host it. Here's how to find a aged domain. Here's how to purchase the appropriate SSL certs. Here's how to install it. Here's how to test it. Things that go beyond the scope of the context of this mastery, but are, like you said, interwoven within the success of you doing this. Because what's a good website? What's a bad website? Where do you buy these particular things? What's a cheap one? Do I even need to buy it? How do I make it? Where do I find those particular things? Yeah, they'll just come with. That's the difficulty of doing these group things. Is that there's a large, wide spectrum of people's past experiences and past bits of knowledge and toolboxes that they have on certain things. You say make a website, just one guy. It's like, yeah, I can do a $13 WordPress template in 15 minutes of my time. And you get some guys that don't even know what HTML is, or even heard that phrase before. So that's the difficulty of talking from one to many. But to answer your question in the most simplistic form is like, yeah, the Q&A calls, I'll keep consistently uploading more content beyond the scope of this program sequentially over time. And ultimately, because we've got a long time to get to where the goal is here, 60, 100, 90 days. I'm not in any rush, but at the same time, it's more so like, depending on you and where you want to go, like, I'm not worried about the little things like that. I'm pretty sure that you'll get it done, no problem. It wouldn't really be difficult in any way, shape, or form. It's just doing it, either yourself or getting somebody else to do it. It's not really that hard, man. But yeah, if it helps you, it'll probably help 20 other people. So yeah, man.
I think it's more the bigger steps, Jordan. So it's not like, I've actually got 2 dedicated servers. And I probably, to be honest, this kind of content, probably the people on this call are probably reasonably au fait with that. I don't think you're going to have to go to GoDaddy, push by domain. I don't think you're going to have to get that granular. But it would just be handy to have a sort of a checklist kind of thing to kind of go through each step. I think, Google's out there. We can all find out how to, buy an SSL and all the rest. That's not rocket science. It's just the fact to remember to do. You've got to do that. You've got to do this. You've got to do this. And when it's in a video and it just appears for a second and it's gone, it's quite a pain to scrub through each individual bit second by second to find the right bit. So I think the best thing probably is, because you're going to kind of cram this into like a week, basically, right? As near as damn.
The whole thing, the whole data, content, knowledge transplant from me to everybody in a week. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, the main sort of webinars, so to speak. They're going to
the schedule of calls and the itinerary of the breakdown, probably about 2 weeks. With an additional call, I'm feeling that's going to kind of talk about the catch-up stuff, because I'm still making this stuff in real time as I'm going through all of this stuff. So it's kind of difficult for me to do it all, and I know I'm not going to get everything, but that's the beauty of having like a Facebook community, and we'll know timelines. In reality, I can always upload and can consistently develop a database of resources for everybody. So you may not find it valuable that it's like go to GoDaddy, whatever, but better to have it than not need it. But it's always good to have a priority of what content's required and what people want in that form. But it's about 2 weeks, but it probably will be additional content, definitely additional content after the fact. And the direction of that content will be tailored by what people essentially need. And then once it's created, it exists. I can just say video 16, go there. That does it.
Right.
There you go. All done.
Sure. Okay, mate. So we'll probably best bet is we'll just go through each of these training sessions, and after a couple of weeks, kind of accumulate or aggregate a bunch of questions, and you can knock them out then. But in general, I've actually played in this space before a long time ago, back in the Wild West days, where you could buy terms like fat loss for $1 on AdWords, and did make some significant cash, has to be said. So when the email came through with the subject line, it's like, Actually, that's my wheelhouse. I wouldn't mind having a crack at that. So I actually dealt with Max Bounty as well, probably even longer than 10 years ago. They've been around forever, those guys, and they were always considered really trustworthy and reliable back then. So, that was what I was going to say about Max Bounty. I did apply. I don't know if I got Useless Girl, like everybody else seems to, but I haven't heard a damn thing back. That was about 3 or 4 days ago. Is it worth just ditching it and just try again?
No. I think what I'll do is I've got to be careful because my affiliate representative is going to be like, who's giving my bloody number out? Someone's out there giving my number out to all these people and they're all calling about the same thing. And it's all about this Katie and like, oh God, it's going to cause drama. It's like something's going to happen. So I've got to be careful about that. But as we go throughout the calls and things, we will see that, it's going to be perceived as an asset to have a lot of personas to do certain things, and that gives you, say, more bullets in the gun to get approved to certain things potentially and to do certain other stuff. But again, that's at that point in time. But right now I want to make everybody do it white hat, 100% compliant, building strong core assets, but then talk about other things theoretically, and they can do that if they so want. It's up to them, but that's just for the context of exploring it all and educational wise and that kind of crap. But I won't worry about it, man. What I'll do is I'll post, like I made a poll not too long ago about people's progression along Max Bounty. I'll post another poll probably after this call, and we'll get it all done, because even after this call, you're not going to get everything ready to go for step 1 yet. Like, I think people won't even start effectively until all the calls have actually been delivered, and then they start. But again, that's the beauty of a Facebook group, is that people are going to be able to consistently talk to me, post things, share resources, and I'll just do overnight, whatever the hell. I'm doing a live stream right now. Who wants to join? Jump in. Like 2 people are here. And then that guy drops down, just whatever. So I'm in it for the long haul, so I won't worry about it.
What's bothering you about just saying to your guy? Because obviously, listen, your account rep's probably pretty happy with the kind of business you've done with him historically. So what's the wall between you saying, hey, Fred, I got a bunch of high-level students I'm doing a mastermind class with. They're all going to be, working in an ethical fashion and kind of deliver you good business, just as I've been doing over the years. Can we get them approved? Is there a headache in that?
Yes, Simon, lots of headaches, because I don't know what the hell you're going to be doing with this.
Okay, fair point.
So that's my first, second, and third potential problem, because like you just said,
no, I get it. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right. You don't know what the hell we're doing.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know who's going to who's already recording this, and it's already been on these file share sites, like all my other crap. Like, I don't know. I got to be careful.
That is a good point.
So,
yeah, no, completely. You know what? I completely didn't think of that. I better stop harvesting those Pornhub accounts now, then, right?
Or just like strategically talk about your preferences in such a way that doesn't infer that. That's all.
No, you're right. Of course, I didn't realize, because anybody could do fucking anything and screw your rep up. It's a good point.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Ditch that idea then. All right. That's me done. To be honest, mate, I'll just keep on watching. Wednesday's the next one. Yeah.
Or I could do another one tomorrow, but there'll be plenty of time to talk about certain things.
I'm going to be going through this, scrubbing the video bit by bit and making some notes. So Wednesday's plenty, really. Tomorrow's probably too soon to try and get a whole load more info in.
Oh yeah, like you should have seen my original plan. Like, that was like the amount of stuff that I've had to cut from this to make it even perceivably survivable is insane.
That's scary, because you are quite verbose.
It is bad. Like, I'm the kind of guy that would write 700 words on a topic for myself, and just keep pages. Sorry, 700 pages, and just make my own book on a topic and just like put it away.
You are the Tolstoy of digital marketers, that's for sure.
No, I'm the dweeb that just fucking the kid that just doesn't care. He just says it as it is. Really, that's all. You'll see. You'll realize it's whatever the hell with me. But hey, I try my best, and hopefully you guys make some money and give me more money, and that's how the cycle goes. That's all.
I hope we all make a lot more money than the $500 a month.
Yeah, but I've got to be. you
That's
know,
the,
it's a quantitative, like,
I
worst
get it.
case
I
feel.
understood
Like,
where it's coming from.
if you
Yeah.
send a million emails, like, it's like I got to make a claim, to stand out or whatever. But it's whatever. I think
What
everyone would be happy.
Yeah, no, I got the reasoning for the low ball. What's in your experience, if you have the resources from a hardware perspective, what's your average return, would you say, on, say, 1 million emails on a typical offer? Where do you normally see the end game being approximately?
The ROI on 1 million emails, that is, again, is a
How long is
huge.
a piece of string?
Yeah, that's not, as we will find out, not every email is the same. As we know, the different cohorts of audiences are not valued the same. So a list of 1 million emails isn't a million $1, if you're with me.
Sure.
So
a million scrubbed and cleaned emails, I guess I was saying.
again, that's still not a fair comparison to kind of even put forward, because there isn't, as you will see, there's a series of tools and recipes that we're going to be applying via data validation and modulated campaigns that's going to help to steer people down for the highest probability of success. Like, there's another thing that I haven't gone into, but it's like leveled promotions. So you would send us 10 emails, and there would be 2 product opportunities in that series of 10 emails. So email 2, email 7, the rest is content, for instance. And that's priced at $10, to keep the example, both of those products. If somebody purchases the product on day 2, for instance, email 2, they will be leveled up into a level 2. But by the time they get to the 7th email, the product price would be significantly increased to reflect their promotion and engagement, because they've proven themselves. Yet the other people that get email 7 will get the identical product, but the price will be still $10. And so we're able to effectively dynamically corral people through a upward trajectory of a value sequence, whilst dynamically being aligned with their perception of what value is to money. And so when you start thinking very loosely around that, when you apply and you stick 1 million in front of that, all you need to do is increase it from 10 emails to 20 to 50 to 100 to 1,000, and effectively never stop it, and never have a ceiling for the levels. And then eventually everybody will corral themselves into a segmented cohort. And then you'll go through, okay, out of those original 1 million, I now have 17,000 lists of cohorts of people that are dynamically tuned to different actions, behaviors, propensities, and also so forth, that you can then market match certain products within your database of offers, and be able to position yourself more effectively within negotiations of networks, independent brand deals, and being able to make a business out of this list that you've developed, this system that's there, that exists. So the real value is not, in fact, just the ability to send 1 million emails successfully. It's the ability to understand the whole picture in a way that I can translate it or make sense to people, why they would bother to do that, why they would want to be able to do that. Like, you may be able to grasp that very quickly and easily, but some people just says 1 million emails, if only 0.1% of those buy a $7 product, that's more money. That makes sense. That's in, that's out. I can do that. I can scrape 1 million emails a day, send 1 million emails a day, get 1 million accounts banned every day, make 1 million accounts tomorrow. That's not a business or whatever miles, but they could do that if they so want. I can't control them. They can do whatever with it.
That makes a lot of sense. I get it. So really the long term, so you're creating an LTV out of these people by segregating them based on whether they take an initial offer, and then saying, okay, well, this guy's going to take action, he's going to spend money, and then you move them into another list. You mentioned that, I think, in one of the promotional videos that you had done, and it made me initially think, because this was a problem we always had, when you are sending some traffic to an LP, how are you determining, because back in our day, once we sent that traffic, unless we created an interim lander, where we offered some kind of value add to get the email. Once we'd sent the traffic and the traffic had opted in at the publisher's LP, there was no way to get that email. So there was no way for us to know whether that particular person / email had actually purchased anything. How do you do that nowadays? How are you getting that to order to segregate those buyers, if you like, into another list? Or is that coming up in email mastery?
Here's the thing. I'll explain it here, but I don't think I touch upon this because this is where it gets a little bit, as you can imagine, tricky in advance. But you're assuming a lot of assumptions there, and you know, rightfully so. If you don't know what a fish is and you try and describe a fish to somebody else, it's like that makes no sense. Like a floating dragon thing is what you're telling me. This is where this is going to go. So bear with me here. That is predominantly determined by who owns the traffic and by what point the traffic is owned or established ownership on that said traffic. Your problem here is being able to accurately measure the actions of that traffic at certain points with third-party elements along the journey, right?
Right, exactly, yeah.
Right. Okay. So now what happens if we just clone that initial offer in our own database and we relay that information after they've opted into that third party side? Now we own that. Exactly. Now what happens? Now what happens if we seed that offer site with like 16 fields of data, like name, address, phone number, blood type, all that other kind of crap? And we know when they see that they're going to bounce. But what happens if we then clone that landing page and instead of asking for 16 offers, we modify it to only one offer or name and email? And then when they upload that bits of information, then they go into an email sequence for 2 days, and then we bring them back out to get 2 more bits of information, postcode and phone number, and then they jump on that. So now we indirectly dynamically feed into their CRM profile, their name, phone number, address, and that type of stuff. And then we keep doing that till they got the full 16 data fields. And then we send all that information at once to the server at once, done. And we've kind of like cherry picked it, we seeded it. We've given them crumbs instead of asking them to devour this entire wedding cake at once, which we know they wouldn't. There are ways and advanced ways to do that. But again, like I said, that's the shit
that would have made me a lot of money back in the day.
It is making money. yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I was tiny fish when load to a bunch of the seminars for CPA in States and Vegas, and that, you know, I know it sounds crazy. It's hard to comprehend. I know you try to probably keep the numbers down because people just get so disbelieving it's even possible.
Yeah,
it's scary. But I knew. And this sounds crazy, but I knew a guy who was genuinely doing about $1.2 million a day in CPA at one point. That's the kind of numbers that some of those CPA guys, when they're really on it and the operation is big and scaled, that they were doing. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I know.
Yeah.
I've got the stories. I've got the things as well, and it is. It's heartbreaking to see. It's heartbreaking to see someone buy a Lamborghini, crash it, and buy 2 more, and then by the time they wake up, they made their money back in interest alone.
Yeah. Because one was out of petrol.
Yeah, it's like they don't do MOTs; they just buy a new car. You know, that kind of stuff. It's like it's bad. It's whatever. But you know, to each their own. Again, like right at the beginning of the conversation, I was speaking about. Everybody should pick up on this. It's realize your whys, figure out what it is that you're doing, and then, you know, it can change. Like the guy doing 1.1 million a day, like when was that? What year was it?
That was a long time ago.
Exactly.
His was mainly through media buys. He was doing it. He wasn't doing it through email, although he had a bit of a system like you had discussed where he did media buys, and he did an interim landing page where he accrued the email address and a number of contacts. It was relatively limited. It was like first name, last name, state, that kind of thing. Then they came out of the other end of that, went to the publisher's LP, and then he also utilized the emails, and he was actually selling the emails that he's aggregated to other people to do other projects with, because he knew they were niche specific. So he was kind of making money. He'd got enough of a ROI out, the profitability of the cost of the ads versus, you know, the commission on the offers. And he was doing quite high. Sometimes he was doing quite high end ones. They were like sort of $30, $40 a pop, and they were in things like credit, checks and this kind of thing. But then he was also selling these, and he was aggregating tens of thousands of emails a day, basically, from his meter buy, and then he was selling those lists on to other people to market to. But I would say that was probably sort of thing. Is there a network called Neverblue still around? It was a big one at the time. Okay.
I'm relatively new in this space, just to kind of like throw it out there. In like the last 2-3 years, like really kind of pushing
They were the big, and Max Bounty were the little guys in those days, although they had a good rep. I would say this is probably the best part now of 12 years ago, something like that, I would have said. But I have to say things were a lot easier. I did a lot of paid traffic, and it was, in some space, not media buys, just more traditional ad platforms like AdWords and stuff. But we were getting, really very specific short-term keywords for, between 30 cents and $1. And we were able to convert that and make a profit at the other end. So it was a lot different. But then, of course, everybody and their dog came in, and the FOMO was there, and everyone was buying, paying, and bidding against each other. And in the end, I just had to back out of it. You just couldn't make a profit anymore, which is why, of course, the whole, the traffic source is now email. That changes things dramatically because you haven't got a built-in ad cost up front, and I could see that's profitable again. But yeah, it was probably about 12 years ago or so. I think he was actually making a bit more than that, arguably. But he was, when they asked him how much, and he went up and did part of the presentation, that was the kind of like the minimum he was doing. Yeah, about 1.2 million a day.
Life, hey, it could be what it could be like. But yeah, man, the possibilities are absurd, and hopefully I can help a couple of people make a couple of bucks a month. That's all I need, and we'll all be happy. But yeah, man, I'll do what I can with the transcripts. I'll do what I can with the other stuff. But glad to have you, man. Experience and understanding of these things is always a phenomenally crazy thing to have, especially in the resources of a community, because who else knows? There's another individual, like I said at the beginning, who's amazing when it comes to email. And let me just see if he's even on this call. Actually, I'm not going to confirm or deny if he's on this call or not, but he's in the community. He's let's just say that actually, I can't even say. Fuck, he knows his shit. He knows his shit when it comes to email, and he makes me look like an ant. So I'll leave it at that.
No, it's good. It was good to have the expertise in the group. I mean, my knowledge is really A, old, and B, if I had been any good at it, I'd still be doing it now and be making $1 million a day. So, I mean, you've got to, it's a significant grasp. That's why I'm in the group, to learn for sure. But I guess, yes, conceptually and a bunch of the core concepts I am pretty familiar with, yeah.
Sure, man. And I'm at the same time as well, I always on the journey of meeting new people and exploring and learning what I can. Always fascinating to me. Who knows what my next 3-day, 4-day no sleep binge on a topic will be, and maybe it could be encouraged from a catalyst that you said, and I just crack on, knock it all out, man. But yeah, man, I've got to say as well, I've got to let somebody else ask a question as well. I can't just we can't just have a podcast with 20 other people listening in. But yeah, man. If anyone else has got no more questions, though, by all means. But yeah, man. Sweet. I would have you. I'd be very interested on your feedback as well as a result of what you've done, to see what this even can do as well, if that's the case.
No, I'm looking forward to it for sure, but I'm going to put myself on mute because I've taken up too much time. And we'll speak in the next one.
Sure, man.
Cheers, Gordon. Take care.
Is that it? Can I have a breather? Is nobody else wanting to ravage me? Surely. Nobody's here.
I guess I have a question from professional curiosity, maybe. Like, how did you? Because I thought you were doing something totally irrelevant from CPA marketing, but then all of a sudden you're like, all right, let's do some direct mail kind of stuff, and then let's do some CPA affiliate marketing kind of stuff. Like, what else do you have in like the back burner, or like, I don't know. It's just like,
I get it. It's an interesting question. Like a lot of people make a lot of assumptions what it is that I do, and those people don't even ever realize. But I do explain it repeatedly, and the fact is that I'm in the game to make money. That's it. That's what I do. I don't really care or have any allegiances or biases to any one particular thing. The moment it stops making money, that's it. I don't care. It's gone. It's done. Move on. Like I have a framework of establishing projects and things to a certain amount and then moving on, making something else. That's it. That's all I do. And in the context of this guru crap, stupid space, it's like I developed a framework of helping people, which made me quite a lot of money helping those. And we made partnerships from all of that. And I verified the opportunity of being legit by giving people, the 90%, and I just take the 10% consistently. And yeah, sure, sweet, let's do that. But now I've moved into from the one-on-one to the one-to-many, and as a result, I've I don't know, I can build more relationships faster. I can touch upon people faster. And like all of these crazy people that I keep mentioning, they all come from this industry that I've reached out to me or taught me this particular thing, or I've built something with them and such. That's accumulated that chapter of knowledge that's now being able to help, I can regurgitate that now to other people, really like chopped up, like brutally. Like I don't really explain that stuff that well as how I hear it, but I try my best, and it's kind of like comes out in some ways. And some people like it, some people can't stand it, but it does whatever. But all in all, man, like Sam, he's on this call. He manages a massive chunk of the money. He owns 50% of my holding company that has all of these other companies associated with that he runs and independently manages. I'm just like a marketing guy. That's all that I do in the grand scheme of the organization. That's it. There's some fucking kid. That's all I've always said to everybody. There's nothing special about me. I just like make Facebook ads, make this, like push some traffic here, make a funnel, make a page, develop some software. That's it. That's all I bloody do. There's nothing special or crazy about me.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, you put like some flair and flavor into it and swagger, so there's something in some sense, but I kind of get what you mean, though. Cool.
Sure, that could be an aneurysm that you're witnessing, or alcoholism or something else, but yeah. Or just like I don't give a fuck attitude, like sure. I don't care if you don't believe me. It's whatever. I don't care if you don't do that. Sure, that's awesome. Oh, you commented on my ad. Why am I spending money on Facebook? Oh, you got me. There you go. I'll stop spending money on Facebook now. I don't care. It's whatever. Like everyone's here is realistic. They're here to make fucking money. They don't give a shit about me. That's how it is. If you can't appreciate and realize that, then you're not like equipped to do this kind of shit. But yeah, I kind of feel like I'm wasting people's time now, but yeah, that's that kind of stuff. Do we have any more questions on the context of this call? Because people are dropping. They are weak. They're not surviving. Anybody else?
I had a question.
All right. Who's that? Yosef.
Yusuf.
Okay.
About the personas, I guess, and the websites. Is that, I guess, are we going to be making like multiple sites for each persona, and is that something you're gonna cover more of?
Again, a lot of the context of the conversation I was having with Simon, it's totally predicated on what you want to do. For instance, if you find an SMTP server that has 12,000 free email sends before you have to pay, is that enough for you? Or do you want more? Do you need to create another free account and combine those two SMTP servers to have 24,000 free emails? Is that enough? Do you need another or another? Or another? How many markets are you in? How many offers are you running? How many opportunities? How long are your offers? totally irrespective of what it is that you want to do, really, honestly. So the idea here is to kind of give people the framework to do one successful iteration, and then just take the two corners of the square and scale it. And they know how to scale it, to have a traffic, offers, systems, personas, websites, whatever that may be. You know how to do that now. So I'm not going to say make 16 websites or make 4 websites. I'll show you how to do one. And now you know how to do it for everyone, for everything. Like the personas, I'm not just saying make a character that looks like this, acts like this, talks like this, and have a brand image of a company that looks, acts, and talks and has these associations. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you the epistemological breakdown and the methodologies that feed into why it's like that for this contextual example. Now you're able to infer, oh, that's why he made it like that. That's why he made it red. That's why he put like 2 blondes there with giant personalities next to his face. That's why he did it. It makes perfect sense because that's the audience and the demographic and all that blah, blah, blah stuff that connects to it. And maybe you could associate a goal with each website. Like I said, maybe you want each persona on each website to be making $750 per month minimum, because each one of those are going to have a fixed cost every month. So it's like, I don't know, $20, $50, and you want to have at least a 1,000% ROI every month on every website you make. Whatever, it's whatever. It's like I'm teaching you how to build in a sandbox, but I'm not telling you what sandcastle to build, even though I will show you sandcastles I have built, if that makes sense.
That does. It does. Okay. Yeah, it's just a lot of information, and it's just...
Yeah, like I said, I'm not expecting anybody to just nail it first time. Like, do a backflip right now. Do it. I don't care if you fall. No, of course I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm not going to make anybody to do that. It's just that this is just going to be a comprehensive resource that you have in your disposal that you have. Like when Simon was talking about having the slides and the transcribed video and having the miles flag things on the scrubber bar to show each part that I talk about certain things, he's going to use and do that with whatever it is that he wants to use and do it with. So that's for his prerogative to do that. But maybe you don't need that. Maybe you only care about email. Maybe you only care about the software. Or maybe you only care about inboxing consistently, successfully every single time. Or you want to know the difference between ISP independent servers and your shared servers. Maybe you want to learn how to build one of yours. Like who the hell knows? I'll never know that. So that's how I'm going about it. Is just giving an attempt at explaining everything, but in a bite-sized, long-form fashion way that like you're doing right now, jumping in and asking particular questions for your field, and then we're all asking those questions and we're all together building a database of information on this subject that anybody can scan through and get through. And inevitably, once people answer enough questions or ask enough questions, you'll be able to use it to do whatever effectively it is that you want, or at least infer and reference what it is that you want, or give you an information point to go to do something else for that thing. That's my plan here. That's why I never build like programs and things and courses and all that kind of crap just off the cuff of my head. Because how the hell do I know what people want to talk about and care about, whatever? I'll just have an idea of a framework, and then I'll let you guys tell me exactly what it is that you want me to talk about. Challenge me, talk about things, explore this, do that, how it should be done. If you can't accurately describe what it is that you do or debate your point or explain it simply, then what are you doing? You're not qualified to talk on the subject. You can't do it. You're just sitting in front of a screen recording, talking to yourself, but I'm just talking bullshit. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And is what it is. And just take it from there. But I think people are getting some kind of value from it. So that's pretty good. So I think I answered your question. I can't remember. It's been going on a while now. But yeah.
I think you did. It's just waiting for the next one and see and trying to absorb pretty much everything that we talked about or you talked about today, because it was definitely a hell of a call. It was pretty long. So, thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure, man. You're welcome. Have it out. Buy me a beer.
If you ever come to Hawaii, I will.
Oh, Hawaii. Of course. Fucking of course.
That was my next question. When we come down your place for a piss up then?
It depends. Whenever we come out of this bullshit bloody lockdown, like I regularly have like hostings of people like in and around London, up in the Lake District. It's totally up to you guys.
Do you know what? I spent so long on this call, I actually forgot we were in the middle of a fucking pandemic. I completely forgot about it. Actually took my mind off fucking Corona for fucking 4 hours. I completely forgot about that.
Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, you know, it's whatever.
All right. First time we make at least, $5,000 in a month or something, we're down your place, then we'll take you out and buy some drinks.
Sure, man. Let's go to Ian McKellen's pub and work our way south. You know,
Sounds
meet you there.
Whereabouts are you?
It depends. I got a couple of places in and around London. I'm up by Vauxhall, and I've got a boat in St. Catherine's Wharf.
I saw that. Yeah, I forgot about the boat.
Yeah, the people do.
So just take a bunch of money, spend it on hoes and drugs, and then waste the rest. Yeah.
No, I'm responsible. I have a financial representative that's competent in my decision rationale, and You're
stuttering.
Yeah, so other things out that increase quality of life and crap, etc.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Right. 8:51. Jesus. Right.
Weak.
I think we should let you get off.
I don't know. I'm willing to keep going. Like, I'm here to answer questions. I'm serious when it comes to this stuff. Does anybody else want to ask anything?
Are we gonna get the recording today? Uploaded on Facebook, or is that gonna be like sometime?
I don't know. I'll have to render this up and to Simon's specifications, and then and then see what I can do with all of that. But yeah,
attention.
Yeah, all of this will be uploaded and digitized and given to everybody. Because Facebook has this thing called units, and I'll just turn units essentially like their idea of a module, and I'll just like make a unit per phone call, and I'll just like upload it up to it, and you'll just click on it like a new tab on the side of the Facebook group that you can just see the resource, and yeah, it'll all be there as well as all the outside rants and all that other stuff. It'll all be ready to go, which won't be a problem. You essentially, you guys won't have a choice. You'll get results with this. You won't have a choice. It's like the amount of stuff that's here. In no way, shape, or form would it be my fault that you just didn't fucking do it. Because everything and more has been there. You don't have a choice. It's like it's all there. Sam's been very quiet. Do you have any questions, Sam? Oh, yeah, here he is.
Questions? No, I don't have any questions. I think I didn't pay for it.
I got one more, but it's very work related rather than chit chat. When you were doing your videos that showed the scraper, and it was finding obviously various emails, and then you're pushing those emails once you've cleaned it, etc., to a certain offer, and typically in the CPA networks, offers are geo based. So, for example, a US offer isn't going to be much used to a UK IP address, and so on and so forth. Is there any way, or how do you know, or do you not know, and you just accept that's the cost of doing business, that when you scrape, say, whatever, X number of emails, and you send them to a landing page offer for a US based offer, that you just have to accept that a bunch of them aren't going to be able to, you're not going to get paid on a bunch of them because they're from the UK or from Canada, for example?
It depends how deep of an answer you want. Like there are ways on identifying pretty much anything in every way. For instance, you're assuming that I'm sending it to a property that I don't control. But the moment somebody attempts to access a property that I do own, I know where they're coming from. For instance, if I want to do it that way, I can also scrape at the very first point geo-related. I can, through data validation practices, identify further an individual's location and over particular variables.
Okay. I get it, Mini. So basically, you are sending them to some kind of interim page that then looks at the IP address of the first couple of sections of the IP, and then you know where to push it through. Do you ever get an environment where you have, let's say you send an email out and it's, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is, dog biscuits or whatever. Do you ever, or have you ever looked for a scenario where you would have a US offer for dog biscuits, a Canada offer for dog biscuits, a UK offer for dog biscuits? So the text and email is generic enough that it would apply for any of these offers when they finally got to the publisher's lander. But when it came to your interim page, you could send UK traffic to the UK offer, Canadian, blah, blah. Does that ever happen, or is some variation on a theme like that?
Now you're thinking more along the lines of dynamically adapting pages based upon data in real time, behavior actions in real time. That's possible. That is very doable. Can you do it? Yeah, relatively easily. Pretty simply, as a matter of fact. But it's all predicated on the amount of time that you want to invest within doing that in relation to your goals and your calendar and your promos. Like you could find an offer for fucking everything, absolutely everything in existence. And you can have a landing page in every language in existence.
Right.
But at a certain point in a certain time, it's like, well, is that opportunity cost worth it for my current goals? Most of the time, not. It's not, because it's
bit of a 90-10 rule going on.
Yeah. You know, you'll make more money just by analyzing your inboxing rates and your spam rates and improving that by a couple of percentage points. Like, you know, that's it, done. Like you look at the domains and the cohort breakdown of your email lists, such as like your Gmails, your Yahoos, your MSNs, all of those all broken down, and you can like put a fixed revenue sum per email, like what you're breaking down, and you could see, okay, which one of these domains are spamming that I'm sending this email out to, and you just improve that by 10, 5 incrementally increasing percentages, and then you can put in an actual sum on, okay, 30% of my emails that are going to Yahoo are spamming. Why don't I just work on improving that by at least 10%, and I would have reclaimed $2,000, like $1,500. Now, is that work to do that in comparison to the time investment, resource investment to find all of those other offers and to create those IP filtering rules? Is it quicker to do that or slower to do that? And then I'm like, most of the time it's easy to just do a quick Excel export and turn it into a pivot table and then just compare it to your inboxing data that we'll get into, than to coincidentally find geo-specific relatable offers that are convenient within the accuracy and clarity of your messaging in the email, which again has to be accurate. You can't talk about dog biscuits and then be an offer about dog collars. Remember, we talked about the legalities of these particular things. But we'll get to all that. It's not that necessarily difficult, but you're thinking along the right ways of combining and adding and exploring and developing from the basics to then, okay, how can we make it better? And you know the variables and such that you're basing and working upon, then yeah, you can make it better pretty easily. Just add this extra stuff, or take away this stuff, or get there faster, or remove this cost, or get 3 more people that can data validate faster, or whatever, stuff that you
Right.
can consistently have a fixed returnable outcome from. You add 2 people to it, you will get a fixed positive return, whereas you can't control the variable possibilities of consistently being able to find offers. Or you, in your offer database that you've established, that you only like run a campaign and when you've got 15 offers, and you just wait, until you've for offers to come on, or to develop, or to negotiate, until you've been able to populate your database in a particular niche of 15 offers. And now you can build a campaign to the specifications that you so want. Million and one different bloody ways. Like, there's no one way to teach somebody how to cook, but there is a benefit of giving that cook a recipe book, is what I'm saying. So,
Yeah, and I hear you.
hey ho. Right, we're at 9 o'clock now. Anybody want to ask me something? Anybody want to end it? One more question before I go. Ask, or forever hold your peace.
Jordan, I had a quick question. How do you like your steak?
Oh God, is that some kind of like sexual innuendo? You're just gonna laugh at me the moment I fucking say it.
Oh, it was a callback to the Warren Buffett question.
Oh, yeah. How do I like my steak? Sam, would you like to answer that for me, as my financial representative of?
How do you like your steak? Has it got to that point? Medium rare, I think it normally is. I don't think I've actually seen you eat a steak.
What
Yeah,
so?
on the steak, man. That's the answer. And it depends on the type of steak. That's always the answer to that question.
There you go. There you go.
I'm satisfied. Thanks for the course.
Sure. First call, sorry to lose you by now, but yeah. Hope that helps, Matt. Hope everyone else found value from that answer as well. Matt, that's now been locked into history in this recording. So
I think it was a
Just want to
decent
say
question. I
thank
think
you.
Matt ended the call well. Then we needed some brevity after 4 hours.
God, that's nothing. I've had calls that have gone 7-8 hours easily.
Oh, God's truth.
That's the thing. That's just the level of performance and efficiencies. Maybe you could infer and take something away from that, everybody. Just like the differences between, I don't want to say work ethic. I'm not going to say efficiencies and time allocation. It's just maybe obsession of one topic to the mastery of that craft. And then you can compare the amount of time input to practicing this craft in relation to somebody else, and thus comparatively compare the results of those 2 individuals. You put some guy put 10,000 hours into something, and some guy that puts 1 hour a week into something, there you go. That's the difference right there. So I guess that's one additional comparative quality attribute that you can see from a 30K perspective of this particular stuff. But yeah, hey ho. Again, I just saw Dylan's written message. He read that like 20 plus minutes ago, I think. 15 minutes ago, about homework and stuff. I got this one more slide here. This is just for you guys that survived. Everyone else has dropped off. There you go. Spoilers. You didn't know this was coming. It's actually just a slide I forgot to fucking remove or whatever. I was going to go through a viable campaign strategy with everybody, but this is just little bits and bots that I've just kind of jotted down here now. But actions: get an idea of a business entity, or if you don't want to use your currently established business entity, consider establishing an additional one independent of your current. Begin to go through Max Bounty, if you so want. Begin to compile offers. If you go up to the top over here and you type in, you go to search your campaign on the left, you go over to the top thing up here, you uncheck all of these. You'll only have email available, and you search, and then you can begin to compile and look at offers and begin to simultaneously develop your campaign, your offer development sheets, which of course I'll provide to you in resources and whatnot, either via email or another resource. So people that are watching this recording, or assholes that have fucking stolen this, are not going to get it. And you guys can just, use whatever with it. And so on and so forth. So develop some offers, bring them all together. In the other thing way over here, when I was speaking about like the different colors and stuff, like you don't need to have, I don't want to bias you and like develop a niche, think of a niche, do this. No, develop offers and establish campaigns based upon the data that you have. Don't mold and attempt to mold facts and data to your benefits. See what is available first. Don't go into it with any particular biases, like I said. So scroll through, find the offers. Maybe you could, if you so wanted, you could very quickly and accurately establish a theme or database on particular offers right here. So for instance, you could go to categories, and there you go. Maybe you could, like, in your offer database, these could be the fields that you're going to go down. You could particularly very quickly see the offers that are available in each marketplace. You just pick a marketplace that has offers that make sense. But for instance, here's the thing as well. You don't need to have two offers that are in the exact same niche to not have synergy. In my in a video that I made a while ago, I was talking about cross-pollination and offers in relation to the BarkBox offer, and then also a pet insurance offer. One for pet industry, one's in the insurance finance industry. Two completely different fields. And if they are applicable of investing in pet insurance, they're probably going to check up on their own home insurance or contents insurance and whatnot. So you don't need to think directly in niche only. This is where the lateral creative thinking comes in, of being able to logically plan out a flow. Think like that. Now, I would like you to go through Max Bounty or whatever appropriate network offer that you have available. I might go through a couple. I may do, like, on the Q&As, I'll go through a couple with you all. I'll make new accounts with everybody so I can be as clean as I possibly can. I don't want to fuck anybody. I don't want to, like, show off too much stuff, because most of you probably won't even fucking believe it, to be honest. But we'll go through it, and we'll knock this stuff out. So establish and put together some offers. Develop some sheets. Bring them out there. I would like you all to also, at very bare minimum, some kind of basic file structure that begins to break down the your database, for instance. So from your offers, we'll deduce your database that you're going to be exploring. From that, then make a Kanban. It could be as simple as a Excel sheet. I think I've got that in a resource for you. So it's an Excel sheet. So ideas: paid survey, loan, housing benefits, whatever, off the top of my head, right there. Those are going to put my ideas. What am I going to be testing? Let's test this one. Let's put that one across there. And there you go. You're already beginning. You're already processing it. And then what kind of offer, what kind of individual, what kind of angles, all that type of stuff. It's going to be very difficult for you to do that right now, but the groundwork has at least been built, hopefully, for you to be able to ask yourself logical questions around this that we can break down and establish and build together. So the bare minimum, guys, have a business entity established or beginning to work, like to build out and establish some offers, begin to map those offers, organize them in some kind of metric that is relevant to your overarching campaign idea. Ask me questions about those. We can talk about it all. And that's pretty much all that you're going to essentially need right now. But I'd like you to also consider and think about very loosely campaign types. Like, I answered one of the questions to Simon about leveling, a dynamically leveling value tree. That's pretty fucking out there right now. I'm not expecting people to follow that. But the very basic, as it is right now, consider an activation campaign. That's it. all you really need to basically do. Think about these things, building this type of stuff. What would the business look like that's providing and offering information around, like the dog treat thing or the pet insurance space? What would it look like? What would it feel like? What would it talk like? What businesses are in that space that are like that? Pets at home and those types of businesses. How do they look? What are their brand images like? Just think about it roughly. Get a piece of paper and just begin to jot these things down. There's no rush here. There's no timeline here. Just because the calls are scheduled for these particular days doesn't mean you've got to get everything done by those days and on those days and after those days before the calls stop or whatever. I'm not going to just close this group. I'm not just going to stop it. Relax. It's going to be fine. So to summary, business stuff, any questions on the business stuff, put it into the group. We'll talk about it. Any questions on the offer planning stuff, any questions on the sheet I'll be providing to you, any questions on networks and relating offers and how or questions on grouped together ideas, offer mapping. It could literally be as simple as 4 offers on 4 pieces of paper. You've valued those offers and you've just organized them and like this one, this one, this one. Low priced offer at the beginning. Simple CPL, upsell, a simple CPA, cost per sale at the end of it. Easy. You may not know how to do that, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how to do it, but you're at least thinking of a low priced front end opportunity that has a logical upsell. Pet, the pet subscription toy box at like $30 a month, and you get $7 per opt-in. And then you're going to retarget those people that engage with this email, your cost per sale offer of pet insurance. You're thinking like that. I want you to start thinking like that for this particular call. And then we can build and grow upon that. All right, guys? Most people probably already got that. It's very simple stuff. Easy peasy. Yeah. Shouldn't be a problem in any way. So guys, I'm going to hand off now. I'm going to head it all off. Everybody go jump into the group, ask your questions. I'll take it from there. I'll upload this as and where. I'll notify everybody as on the upload. And Sam will contact people respectively for the resources as and when. I'll see everybody in the group for questions throughout. And I'll see everybody in the next call. And
thanks so much, Jordan.
No problem, man. I'm here for you. Bye, guys. Ta-ta. Take care. I'm going to end all of this now. Should all just stop. And I'll see you all in the next call. Okay? Ta-ta, guys. Bye-bye.